Hello and welcome to the Shower Productions Anime Podcast, episode 10. Doesn't feel like it, but it is. We're still going. We're still doing this. We're going to keep going until someone stops us. And no, that isn't a challenge. I am Matt.
I'm Ramiro.
I'm Tanner.
I'm Carlos.
We are without Brandon because he is preoccupied at the moment. For this episode, instead of reviewing a specific series, since it's the 10th episode, we're going to try something different. Hush. We're going to talk about a subject in anime that's kind of divisive, and that is the idea and the practice of live-action adaptations of anime.
Boo. I just kid. Hey, man.
It can go
You
either
sound
way.
like you're not a proponent of
Basically,
live-action anime.
over the past
There's some good ones.
2 weeks or so, I've rewatched some live actions of anime, and I've watched for the first time a couple of live actions of anime to give myself an idea. I already had an idea of my thoughts about it, but I wanted to give examples and kind of do mini reviews of the things I've seen. In the description of wherever you're listening to this, you'll probably see a list of the things we're going to talk about in case you want to avoid spoilers, because it's kind of impossible to do them without spoilers.
Yeah.
But first, I think we'll go around the table and see what we all think of like live action anime in general, and then we'll dive into it. So I think we'll go with Carlos first.
Way to put me on the spot like that.
Gotcha.
Okay, then we'll go with
Tanner boy.
first.
I was going to say, speaking of spots, we are recording in a new location.
Yes, tell them about that.
So right now we are currently in a radio station studio.
Ooh, fancy.
Ooh.
Recording
fancy.
on nice, good, fancy mics.
Giving you some backup vocals, man.
So hopefully this sounds really nice and it's a step up in quality that you all deserve. even
Best
though-
part, everybody has their own mic.
Especially to make
Yeah,
up for the
it's
two
not
episodes.
it's not as scuffed as it
Yeah.
was.
Everybody has their own mic.
Please
let us know.
let the people know who's allowing us to use their stuff.
Thank you to Pecos Valley Broadcasting and KSVP and 106.5 KEND. Roswell, New Mexico,
That's
Thank
pretty
you.
loud.
for sponsoring this podcast. Didn't think we'd have to do this now, but here we are.
Here we are.
Here's my credit card number and social security. It's 7777777.
Hey. You're getting paranoid, man. You need to get a little like ganji, man.
No, what they'll do is they'll find my
Don't.
Twitter and be like, "Is that Dash caught him?" I know who that is. You're that boy in the Pokemon
Do you
hat.
still have that video of us going to Carlos' house? Okay.
Yeah.
What?
So maybe the hardest I've
It's,
laughed.
it's hiding.
Oh God, last 10 years at least.
Yeah.
Do you not remember?
What?
It's when he was. Tanner was.
I had a beard, remember? It was super, super thick. It was like this big bush.
You also had a ponytail.
And I had a ponytail and I had a Pokemon hat and my blue vest on.
Because that was right when like
And
Pokemon
sunglasses.
Go.
Oh, I remember that picture.
had
It's your
come
Twitter
out.
photo.
Yeah.
And
That's what they
Tanner
said.
and I were filming some videos of him being like a character called Dash Caught Him. And we messed around, and then at the end, because it was around Christmas time, so it was actually around this time, getting close. My family made a bunch of plates of cookies for people, and one of them was for Carlos and Ramiro's family.
Like shit in here.
And we thought, oh, it'd be good in the video if like Dash Caught Him was like doing charity and brings poor downtrodden Carlos cookies. And he's like, oh, sometimes you got to reach out to the community. And like we're
I
sitting,
could not come up with anything good without laughing
But
about
we're-
it. I was trying to make it like
and then
that.
you were trying to be like semi-serious about it because I was recording you. We were in your car, and you were like, well, we're gonna help him and reach out by giving him a plate of cookies.
I think I see the...
And it was the funniest
Somewhere.
thing. And we sat in your car for like 30 minutes just laughing about it until finally we got there and like we filmed him getting the cookies and Carlos was like, oh, okay.
And then you like closed the door too. Like I'm sitting there just like, how do you feel?
What was that?
Will this uplift you? You're probably working.
No, you
I
didn't
don't
say a word. You just opened the door. You're like, yes. You got the cookies and you closed the door. And then I think I ended it with some kind of monologue. And it's like, it's that time of year.
Yeah, sometimes you got to help people or something like that. Something generic
I
like
think
that.
it was around this time too.
No, it was
I mean,
because
that's
it was the
Shit.
Christmas cookies. That's
Yeah.
what it was.
The
So
rum
it's getting
cookies.
close.
Rum cookies.
Do you think that that's going to happen again this year?
Yes.
Are we gonna see a return of Dash
Probably, I don't
Ketchum?
know. Dash caught him.
Caught
Get it
him?
right.
Dash
Internet
catch
sens-
them all.
Internet sensation. Dash caught him.
Are we
You
gonna
heard it
see a
here,
return?
This is Dash caught him.
I feel so sorry for the people who can listen to this because we just went on a tangent.
Hey,
This
Hey,
is what
people
great podcasting
by now
is.
they know what they're in for. If you're starting on episode 10, thank you first of all,
Welcome.
but also
Now
like
go back and watch the others.
maybe you should go
Hey,
back.
don't
and,
be so forceful.
like we said, this one has a lot less structure than the previous episodes because we're kind of trying a bit different. We will go back to
Yes.
reviews of specific anime and go episode by episode like we have, but yeah, this one is a bit of a
doozy.
doozy, an interesting, different kind of thing. So
I'm ready.
okay.
And leave,
So
and one
now
more thing.
Tanner will give us his thoughts on live action adaptations of anime.
Okay, time's up.
So I guess it depends on what you define as a live action anime.
What defines a live action anime,
It can be a movie or an episode. What, did you just smoke the booth? Are you like Joe Rogan right now? Or you're just like, man, I can't believe you just talked about anime on the podcast.
Tanner? No,
You did it.
no, I'm just saying. You know, I was on that drug. No, just kidding.
You let me talk about the topic, please.
Yes. I was just like, there's
You're
different.
just horrible
I was
in
just saying, there's
general.
different categories of live action.
I guess it just depends on which one you would talk about specifically. I think everybody has just different opinions on this particular subject because you either did really good at adapting the anime and still were able to put your own spin on it, or you did a very terrible job of adapting the anime, went your own direction with it, and it just flopped. I mean, there's a lot of different examples, like Dragon Ball Evolution.
Oh, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
That's one. Sorry, I said a lot, but
No.
that's the first one on my head.
Well, I mean, I don't have much to say
Oh.
about Evolution. Just that, wow, it's bad.
What
And-
about would you consider? Nah, Street Fighter. Nah.
well, the Street Fighter movies are an adaptation of
The video
a
game.
game. There is an anime of Street Fighter, but that's kind of a different thing.
No, so
Even
you
though
gotta
there's
be famous enough when you get an adaptation of the game to be a movie, then you get a
Video game
game to
movie.
be based off the
But then
movie.
again, we're not talking about video game live action anime.
Anime.
Adaptations.
Got it.
Adaptation. Just like.
But no, I mean,
Bring out the beating stick.
Oh, I was just gonna say the sack.
Oh,
all right.
The crowbar.
Go on, go on.
I think the only ones that I've seen that I can recall right now that were really, really good were the Death Note live action movie
What?
up until a certain point, and then it went its own direction. Spoilers. The Mob Psycho 100 live action adaptation was okay. I actually really enjoyed that as well.
What about this one? Spiritual pressure.
Bleach?
Yeah.
That just that made me laugh. I'm sorry, I didn't care for that.
You know, I
just
thought
made me
I thought it was all right. You know.
Well, I mean, if
For what it
entertained
is.
you, it entertained me.
Yeah.
Yakuya was a SoundCloud rapper. I couldn't believe it. That's
Yeah.
just not what I wanted.
for those of you who are unsure what's happening there, the live action Bleach movie was on Netflix. I think it still is.
No, I think they took it off.
It might still be. I don't know.
I repressed it.
But Byakuya in that movie, we made an inside joke. It's funny because like every time he shows up, of course the music spikes, and we just made the inside joke of like he's a SoundCloud rapper and he keeps showing up to Ichigo. He's like, "Hey man, listen to my stuff.
Buy my mixtapes.
Buy my mixtapes."
Well, no, he just has that look. He has the look and the style, and it's just like, you're not Byakuya. You're just a poser.
Yeah,
It's
you
just
don't.
a
You
dude
know
with a
what? I
Byakuya
just think.
profile
I just think it was.
He wasn't imposing enough. I know, like in size wise, like in the Bleach anime manga, there are people who are supposed to be like bigger and more imposing, and Byakuya's supposed to be more graceful in it. I feel like the guy wasn't needed to be. I don't know. It's hard.
He feels
More
more.
imposing.
Yeah, like, he's not like when I saw Byakuya in the anime, it was like more. Like I don't know.
He carried a certain weight.
Yeah, he carried weight.
Command and elitism and all of that. He just embodied the upper echelon of the.
I feel some fluff.
I mean, he's graceful.
Well, that's the
but
only way I could describe it. And
he's
when-
graceful, but he's also dangerous.
Yeah, like feel fluff, but there's like a needle in there, and you can, you know what I mean.
Oh, my finger! Ow!
But like what I'm talking about in the live action one, I just thought this guy was like trying to be intimidating as a just straight up imitating like, oh, on the bed is one of them all. I hunt bounty hunters.
Like I will what?
Oh, I'm here.
Like I will grimace at you Ichigo, and that's enough.
Want to hear my stuff?
Bob Big tapes. But I just think it's funny how we end up watching it that one night. We were just chilling, and and I think it barely came out, and
It was pretty recently.
yeah, and you were like, look at this Rukia, and everyone's all, because like everyone like she had like longer hair and everything like that.
Response.
Yeah, that was kind of a weird choice.
Yeah, and then like we're like, let's watch it, and then she goes like, spiritual pressure.
This spiritual pressure.
Damn, son,
I'm
where'd
gonna
you find
sell
this?
some hot tubs.
But yeah, that's
You
kinda
got that
where I
joke.
was
Don't
going.
look at me like that.
Oh no, I did.
You made me feel bad. Like
I
I'm
got
just
it.
speaking gibberish.
Well, I was just carrying on.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of other ones that I've seen. I'm sure there are some that I've watched that I just don't remember right now.
I mean, was he there for the Gitama one?
Yes,
Yes.
that was really good. I like
Yes,
the game.
that's another one I was gonna.
But I
speak
haven't
about,
actually seen that show. So
Neither have I.
Well, no, that's one aspect
It's
I
a
wanted
good
to go
introduction,
into,
though.
but
But I tell you what, that Gitama one is actually there's a movie of that, like an animated movie of it. You remember one anime we went to a convention, we got a prize bag. Oh wait, I don't know if Carlos bought or Brandon bought him that DVD of Gitama. I can't remember.
He bought me the manga.
Oh, the manga, but
volume.
like we got like a
no way. I think I got a Gitama thing from it too.
yeah, we got like in the movie, and pretty much that's the live action version. Like they got that off of that, and I watched the anime version. It was kind of like nail for nail, except for the end, like towards the end.
sorry, everybody. He just made the most interesting face.
Who?
You were just like, like you pursed your lips.
But no, like I'm not like super into Gintama. Like way back in the day, I read like the first 40-ish chapters, and I really liked it. But it was always one of those series like I'll get back into it, and I just never have. But I still enjoy it. I know the basics of it. So watching the live action adaptation of the movie, I thought it was really good. Captured kind of the essence of it. It's funny.
It's random.
It's pretty random, but most people who have a basic understanding of anime in general can have a good time with it. So yeah, there was a manga that had an anime that also had an anime movie of that condensed arc, and that's what the live action kind of is. So, Carlos, you haven't spoken much, so do you want to give us your like basic introduction of live action adaptation feelings?
There are some where I saw like, oh, this is actually pretty good, and there are some like, God, what were they thinking? Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball.
What do you think of the Ghost in the Shell live action?
That's what I forgot about.
That one I didn't get.
I have mixed feelings about it too.
It's like
It's good, but it's like,
now the Alita Battle Angel one. I actually liked that one.
yes.
That one was,
I didn't know that was like a.
that one was
Manga?
actually a bit better than the Ghost in the Shell one.
Well, I think it was technically an anime too because
There's
there is an OVA. isn't
Yeah,
there?
there's OVAs, but like I was reading. Yeah, that got me hooked on the manga. Like I read like.
I got this thing when the Alita Battle Angel came out, then like the mangas on Amazon were just gone.
That's what they hope for. That's what they want.
Yeah. No, I was reading it. I was reading the manga. It was pretty good.
It got the vibes like it was like almost like from the art style I saw. It's like, is this like if Astro Boy was mature?
In a way.
If
Yeah.
Astro Boy was a girl,
No.
Yeah,
like,
the Alita Battle Angel movie is okay for me. Like it is kind of off-putting the eyes because it's hard to translate.
I
The
haven't
anime
seen it anywhere
style.
since though.
No, I think
Kind of dropped off.
that's people learn their lesson because like I feel like that's the biggest criticism of that movie is like she looks so weird like just to normies,
You're supposed to.
and when they see that they want to draw the normies in, so when they hear the normies being like, oh, it looks weird, they're like, oh boy, we better not do that again.
I will make her look like a fish.
Hey man, the manga gets pretty dark, man. Like the whole movie is just one arc, and like there's more
I know.
to it, and it's like
I was looking forward to the next movie, and I haven't heard.
I'll tell you what would happen. You want to know what happened?
No.
No,
No,
not right
no,
now.
no.
So this is what happened.
No.
No.
She gets more parts.
Oh.
The end.
But
back
back to what you brought up, the Ghost in the Shell live action movie.
Never seen it.
It's one of
You
those
haven't
where
seen
it's
it?
very middle
Or the anime.
of the road for me because what it's adapted from is better, and you can't really argue that it isn't. Like I don't know anyone who could see both of them and say the live action is the superior version. That just doesn't happen. But it's not bad or terrible, and a lot of it like it's almost shot for shot from the anime so it's like
It's almost
you can't complain too much because like they're giving you what it is. So
yes, but
and then the bad. Sorry to cut you off. Just to finish.
Go ahead.
The only like kind of they tried to save themselves because when Scarlett Johansson was cast, everyone was mad about it, and at the end they tried to like rectify it, being like, well, she actually is Asian. She's just a consciousness in a robot. So we still did the thing, and I'm like, eh.
You know who was?
But that's the problem with that is like, yes, she is a robot, and technically she can look like anything she wants to.
But she's supposed to look like a Japanese.
But she is supposed to look like a Japanese woman in Japan. So it's like,
Yeah.
So you're saying
Who was the old man that was in there?
Oh, the guy from MXC. Takeshi. He's Takeshi.
Takeshi's
Like when
challenge.
I didn't know he was in that until he showed up, and when he did, and he was that guy, I was like, oh god. And not that anything was bad with his performance. It's just it knocks it down a peg just because of me being in the West and what I know him from. Like I know him from like three things. It's like MXC, Battle Royale, and then like the Takeshi's Challenge game. So it's like, oh boy. But
Give me an impression of him.
I can't do it. I can't even think of his voice.
Can anybody give me
It's
an
Vic
impression of him?
Romano.
Vic
That's
Romano.
like that's like my impression of him.
But
Well, no, he just sounds like he was just like a calm Japanese guy, and I'm not going to do a Japanese accent because that would be offensive.
Bunch
and
party
it's just
Asian.
funny though because when we got
Just
MXC, it just got dubbed over.
Yeah.
Romano.
Well, I mean, my understanding of the show Takeshi's Challenge or Takeshi's Castle that it's based off of is also like just pretty ridiculous in general. So it's like it's not that far of a departure.
Speaking of that,
That would not flow today.
MXC,
No.
the one game I remember that just clearly in my head, there was like this mountain with like a tunnel
Yes.
system kind of thing, and they
Uh,
throw like boulders
yes.
down at him, and it's so funny.
Oh God, what was it
It
called?
was amazing.
Like Rock Dodgers or something. I know
like
what
that.
game you're talking about, but like it's interesting because like in my understanding, I could be wrong about this. Don't quote me. Of the original show is that they have all the challenges set, and the whole idea is you have to beat each challenge to get the end. And if no one gets to the end, then that's just the end of the episode.
Yeah.
So like when they edit it together like that, it's just like there's supposedly like every obstacle could be in it, but it's like doesn't always be. So
I just
yeah,
remember that specific thing, and of course, like the other obstacle games, just kind of like Ninja Warrior or any other.
Shoot, man, that was
not
my,
that level.
I mean,
Like, they
not
don't
like
ex-
extreme, but I'm saying like it's just like any other kind of show like that. Like, oh, here comes the rubber thing you got to jump over.
Wipeout is the spiritual successor.
Wow.
To it.
Like it's just
yeah. I missed,
but I like the unique games like the Boulder one.
Yeah.
I really like.
I like the one whenever they're like you have to climb up on a slippery slide and it's like mud and they throw logs at them. Man.
It's a similar challenge. Yeah. like
Well,
that.
like in the rock one, like you mentioned, like I remember when people get really close to the top because they have people rolling the rocks down and they would just throw a rock right at them.
Yeah.
Like a smaller one, they pick it up like, whoo.
All right, now back to live action.
Yeah, sorry, another tangent there.
Yeah, it's
but
live action, just not anime.
it's not an adaptation.
We just
You
went
wanna
to
talk
depth
about
into one
It's
of
a
the
live
actors.
action Squid Game.
Squid Games.
live action Squid Games.
Where's the deaths?
Okay, back to
Ghost in the Shell.
well, that's about all I have to say about Ghost in the Shell.
Well, I
It's
was
like
gonna say,
it's
it's-
not terrible or bad. It's just
Yeah.
it was, and I think I remember a quote when that came out of someone saying, you're upset about Scarlett Johansson being in it, but she's one of 5 actresses like who can make a movie happen by signing it. It wouldn't have happened if she hadn't signed it. And I was like,
I don't know about that.
well, that's just what someone said. And it's like, well, we didn't need the live action. Like that's the thing with a lot of adaptations in general. You don't need it.
No, I remember when Ghost in the Shell came out. What year did it came out? Like 2017 or 18?
2017. I want to
Yeah,
say.
I remember talking about it because I was working at Jimmy John's and this lady came in. Like it was an older couple. Like, oh yeah, we just watched Ghost in the Shell and it was weird. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you don't know what weird is until you watch the real show, man.
Well, I mean, like I said, I get that is like the appeal of a live action adaptation to give it to someone who just can't be bothered to watch an anime, and
Or want to be.
or so you can have the concept and the idea in the world to someone who isn't willing to get over that hump.
You know, what I really think about live action sometimes as like they're kind of like a cash grab. So most of the time I feel like that.
Well, I mean, everything is a craft.
Live
Well, I
action
know.
Lion King.
Like, if you want to go in
Like
more
the
depth
live-
to that, most of the time when an anime is based off something, it's just a craft grab for the
Yeah.
source material. So,
Yeah, I mean, look at that. Look at Full Metal Alchemist, man. Everyone threw an uproar about that.
yeah.
But then again, I was like,
I actually never saw the live action Full Metal movie.
What's
Well,
crazy
no.
is I think I saw it, but I don't remember it.
I
think
remember you telling me
younger,
that you saw it, but like you said, it was just like, eh.
I think the problem is like most people. What I remember when it came out was just everyone was all, why they're Asian? They should have been Asian.
Well, okay, that is a good
Why are there
part
Asians?
to address in live action adaptations, whether they're in Japan or the West. It's like, okay, we know light novels and manga and animes come from Japan, but they don't always tell stories
In Japan.
about Japanese or East Asian people. So, Fullmetal Alchemist is a good example where it's clear they have racists in this
Races?
Sorry, well they do have racists in there
Yeah,
too.
they
I
do.
mean,
They have
The Mongolians.
they talk about race. They have different races in the world of Fullmetal Alchemist.
Sorry.
Oh my god, a Sardaukar.
What's
can't do it right now.
They have different races in this world, and Ed is white, and Winry is white,
and Scar is.
and Scar
Not white.
is Middle Eastern. If
POC.
they're equivalent of a Middle Eastern
And
or
they're-
possibly South Asian. It's hard to
He's
tell.
like Ishbal.
And there's Asians.
And
in-
there's there are people who are clearly based off East Asians. Like there are
Say
races
just-
in this
just
world.
clearly-
Wasn't that little girl with the panda?
So when you make a live action
Is
adaptation
that-
of something
is that good?
and you switch the race, it's kind of pointless. Like I always felt like if there was going to be a Full Metal adaptation, it needed to be a co-production between, East Asian, a Japanese company, and a Western one.
And the one you didn't get to watch, Attack on Titan, was full of Asian actors as well.
Yes, that's Titan is another great example. Is like they have races in this. It's confirmed. Everyone is white except Mikasa, at least in the beginning.
They should be
But-
multicultural.
Yeah, so it's like when people get mad when in the West they make a live action adaptation of an anime and they cast white people in it. You have to look at what the source material is. A good example is Bleach. Like Bleach takes place in Japan. The characters are Japanese.
I hate it.
Therefore, they should be Japanese.
Chad should have been darker.
But like another counter example of that is One Piece, because I just had their announcement for their Netflix live action.
At least
it's
it looks
like-
decent.
They look pretty good because like in One Piece is its own universe. They aren't Japanese in One Piece. They might use Japanese words and phrases. They might have a country, Wano, that is, this is ancient Japan. But they have multiple races. They've touched it many times.
Even the creators
If
said it.
if they had cast a Japanese guy as Luffy, I wouldn't care. And they haven't cast a Japanese guy as Luffy, and I don't care. Because he doesn't have a understood canon race.
No.
And they have multiple races in the One Piece world.
Well,
So that's my kind of thing about casting, at least in live action adaptations, when it comes to race, at least.
all I know is that the Mexican, he's a Mexican actor who's playing as Luffy. And I can't wait for the Narcos memes about it now.
Is he from Narcos?
No,
No.
it's just because he's Hispanic.
Because he's
Oh.
Mexican and stuff. You know what you gotta do. Did you not see what Drake went
Look
as
at
on
that
Halloween?
disapproving head wiggle.
Did you know what
that
Drake
Tanner
went
did.
as Halloween?
Who?
As a Narcos.
You mean you can just be a Narcos?
I mean, apparently if you have money and power, you can be whoever you want.
I guess. I was gonna say.
I mean, for God's sakes, Prince changed his name to a symbol.
Can we just get back on the subject?
Anyway, but like live action wise,
What's
yeah.
the symbol?
Yeah.
Google it later.
Google it.
But
just Google it,
that-
baby.
No,
Google
hang
it.
on, hang
Okay.
on. I have been wanting to say this.
I'm
for
sorry.
A minute or two.
But like, okay, yeah,
No,
go
get
ahead.
out.
No, I do have something about
Tanner
live
goes and then Ramiro.
Okay.
Can't you
where
hear
are
him?
my Bollywood live action adaptations of anime? I want to see that. If we're gonna have like all Asian cast, I want to have an all Indian cast.
Hmm?
That would be hilarious.
Bollywood. But my thing is,
What anime?
Shin-chan.
Shin-chan?
yeah, man.
Hello, I'm Shin.
Well, what about like?
Worst accent.
So like, what about Death Note, man? They're Japanese, but they made them Americans.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
my only count. Look, Netflix.
No, I'm not saying
The
anything
Death
bad.
Note Netflix movie is bad.
Okay.
All right.
What? Oh wait, no, that one. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's just no. The
But-
live action Death Note that I was talking about earlier was the original
Oh.
first two, and the third one. I
Oh,
think I
okay.
watched
See,
that one as well.
so you made me
I
think
was
of.
not talking about the Netflix one. The next trash. Bye bye.
But one reason my counter argument to that is people shouldn't care that they based it as in the West
Mhm.
because you already have live action adaptations of Death Note with Japanese people. There were the movies you like, and there was also that series. If you
The
remember watching,
series was great too.
so
There's a
it's
few
not
little
like
nitpicks, but
it's not like that Death
Is it really that
Death
good?
Note Netflix
I liked
movie was the first live action adaptation of Death Note. If you didn't want
Thank
there to
God.
be a Western version, you have the alternative there.
die.
Yeah, but like, you know, I was so excited too because whenever they said Willem Dafoe was gonna be in
Yeah.
there,
He was the only good part for me.
yeah.
But it wasn't even. They didn't even use him to his full potential. He was in the movie like.
Would you want him to be the full out Green
But
Goblin?
they
or
were
what?
probably cutting corners. Like, well, we can't have him in too many
Can I
shots.
spoil
We
it a
don't
little
want
bit?
to have so many
Yes, we
special
can
effects
spoil
shots.
it.
Can I complain about this movie?
No one's gonna watch it.
Sure.
These two bratty high school teens that just want to screw, and then they try to take the Death Note from each other, and that's the movie.
And L.
That's it. There's nothing interesting at all about it.
What about L?
I don't even care. That's the thing. He's just he's just there.
He's like Patrick Star.
I mean, like, sure, he's black, but that's it. I
Yeah.
guess he eats sugar to be smart. Like, shut up.
Oh, he was just smart anyway, right?
Akira, I'ma come for you. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm having sex.
Has they ever done a live action Akira?
I don't.
So- Akira the movie.
Yes.
They have been.
Maybe one.
There have been people who've wanted to make it for 2 decades. Like I think it was like Leonardo DiCaprio wanted to start making that like 20 years ago.
What happened to him?
He got too old for the part 1 and 2. It just like they couldn't line it up. And I know
He can still play it. He's a good actor.
I can't remember his name,
But he's
but
not-
he's the guy who directed Thor Ragnarok and Jojo Rabbit and stuff like that. He's trying to do a live action Akira, and he's wanting, and he actually come out and says like it's hard to make that in Hollywood because I want to cast East Asian actors and they don't want me to. Basically, it's like that's what he come out and
Oh, yeah,
said.
because doesn't it take place in like?
It's in Japan.
Japan.
They're Japanese people.
I think Squid Game's gonna change the whole thing though. I think everybody's gonna be like, wait, what? We should actually make good stuff. Wow.
Well, yeah, I would have thought that.
Well, that is the hope. Is like an East Asian production that everyone sees and majority of people like. Problem is that is like you have it already, but there's still talks of them making a Western version of it. Like, oh, I can't.
It's like the Grudge. It's like these.
America.
What's
It's
that
like these-
Korean zombie train that they made?
Oh, Train to Busan.
And then how they want to make their own version of
Yes,
that?
they're making a Western version of it.
Oh my god.
Have you watched that movie?
Train to Busan.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Dude, that made me
I've not
sad.
seen it.
That made me.
Well, we won't say anything, but
I
it
just-
is,
I don't want to know.
it is a really good movie. You should give it a shot if you have the time.
What were you gonna say?
It just made me sad. Like,
No, not about the movie. About right before
what?
he brought up Dream Busan. What were you gonna say?
About Squid Games and
You had something in your head.
Oh yeah, no, I thought it was funny how Squid Games brought the whole dub versus sub thing going on.
Yeah, now it's more mainstream.
Yeah, I'm just like, where were you whenever Naruto came out?
remember when
So
Mighty Keith took
Why are
that
you playing
opinion
an
about the
England?
Demon Slayer
Mm,
dub and all that?
yes, but
but like, I mean,
this isn't another sub versus dub thing.
Debate.
But to say real quick, it's like dubbing of a live action series has always been really wonky to me, and it doesn't work very well.
how you liked it with those Japanese games?
It's different, but like
It's live
I
action.
understand the need for a dub, and it's like the people who made it tried hard, but it is the original version is better, but that doesn't mean that people can't enjoy the dub if they enjoy it. Like that's all you gotta say.
Sungwoo, what are you doing?
Like the
Please
old,
Don't do this to me.
like the old kung fu movies.
No,
Okay.
the reason. Okay, you
Oh.
want to know why I can't watch?
Sweet.
My thing is, I can't watch a dub is because the mouth, the flaps.
the flaps.
The flaps don't match, and that's very distracting.
The mouth.
But then I go back to that thing about Sonic Adventures, and I was all, Tails.
Watch out! You're gonna.
What are you
crash.
doing?
Okay,
move his
and
mouth.
okay, to bleed into that, unless someone wanted to say something else before I
I
start
don't know
doing
what else
more
we could talk
in
Oh
depth
no!
about
Well, I was
things.
just talking about like, can we go back to Bleach? Like, what did you like it? Did you like the way they went? Because like, see, my problem with live
No.
action is like, I don't want it to be a picture to picture. Like, I do want a twist on it, if that makes sense. Like, I do want something crazy. I'm not expecting like.
I'm trying to remember the movie.
Well, no, it's because like,
Didn't they release a JoJo one?
Yeah.
Yes,
it
but they don't
it
make
was
part
part 4 because
They're all
because
Japanese.
they're Japanese. That's why they chose Part 4 to do the adaptation of. But just back to that, the Bleach movie is like,
Because-
I remember kind of feeling unsatisfied with it for reasons I'll explain later when I talk about more live action. It's like, it should have been a series. You can't fit all that into a movie.
Yeah, because I think it was like kind of too fast because like his training monologue and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, like, I mean, some of the characters were there, but I kind of wish they made more of a big of impact as they did in the anime.
Yeah, but
Because it just felt like it was more like Rukia and Ichigo just like.
well, in that one, they're picking and choosing their battles. Like,
Yeah.
okay, we got 2 hours. We gotta cut
Yeah.
people. From
And
this.
then what was that Hollow that killed his mom?
Grand Fisher.
Grand Fisher, yeah, he dies in that one.
Yeah, I think they did that just because like they realized like this movie has to have a climax. We can't leave it on an open ending like you would a series because next week there's another episode. This one is like, well, we have
But
to
they
have
did
a-
leave it on
Next
a
week we have
cliffhanger.
another
They
movie.
left it on like, but it's
But it's of the next arc.
yeah, it's another arc, but you still got a finale. Like they try and mix it together. Like you had the conclusion, but you also had the continuation.
Yeah. And see, that's what I kind of liked about Bleach. I mean, but I just hated like Chad was just like. I mean, he was quiet, but he was just like I don't know. I just feel like he was more stupid in the live action than he was in the.
I don't remember hardly anything.
Because he
like
was
that.
just there was like a part
I don't
where
remember anything
there was
about the movie at all. Except for,
Yes,
like,
I
the
remember.
end.
I guess it made a bigger impact on me than I thought.
Yeah, I just remember-
but I do like Bleach more. Like
I
I
just
think
remember
Yuzu just oppressed
Byakuya. I just remember them training by the river.
and
with, like,
Orihime
the
was
Yeah,
getting
on the
jealous.
bridge.
under the bridge.
I
And
remember Orihime.
She was just Orihime.
yeah, and Chad like there's just no like
There's nothing to her.
Like I think there's just I have to go back and watch, but there's a scene where they're like at a fast food place and it's just showing Chad by himself just going.
Yeah, they were in the upstairs McDonald's, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it was the McDonald's.
Yeah, but
but
it's like
it was like a
something-
knockoff.
A McBurger.
Yeah, it was something like
Ronald's.
that.
Ronald.
Oh yeah, wasn't it like Ronald or something?
Yeah. Ronald. It's like with the W.
McDonald's or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
McDonald's.
Oh yeah.
But like,
I've seen McDonald's in a couple of anime.
but like that's what I mean. Like, like I feel like they made him like stupid.
They
yeah.
were just upstairs. They were in the. I love that. I love that.
I know, but, like,
I
Chad
wish
was just-
we had a McDonald's like
But
that.
like,
There's some cool McDonald's here. It's just they're all over the place.
That
yeah,
was
look,
like in the side of a building. It was like
Yeah.
part of the
Do you-
landscape.
But do you want to go to that McDonald's in Italy where like you can see a skeleton in the floor?
Yes. Wait, why would they have that?
Because they started building the McDonald's and they were digging it up and they found an old Roman road underneath it and there's actual like bodies buried next to it. So they unearthed like one of the skeletons and like when you go into the McDonald's, the floor is part of it is glass, so you can see under it and you can see the skeleton laying there.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Would you like fries with that?
let me ask my buddy. What do you think, buddy?
I'll take 10.
He said,
X.
Here's your shake.
but okay, well, but that's what I was thinking about Bleach, and like the other live action I watched. What's the other one I watched?
Something we haven't already mentioned.
Ruroni Kenshin.
Didn't you
Oh,
watch
I'm gonna talk about that.
I just only watched like the first 30 minutes of that.
Did you watch the Phoenix Wright one?
No, because I did not like their wigs.
They had wigs.
I mean, I see Felix Wright's hair.
Yeah, but I didn't expect them to have a wig. I thought they just have normal hairstyles.
Well, that's a weird-
No, it's a wig. like, have you seen like the live action?
I don't think
I've seen still images of the live action of it. It's like that is, if that wig was pointed, it could kill. Like they're trying to make him look as much like the character as possible
Like-
instead of like just gelling his hair up really well or like making it still look like human hair. It's like it's perfect black and like
Is
it's
there
a,
a Yu-Gi-Oh live action?
I don't think so.
I want to see the.
not that I can think of no.
Well,
the
but-
cosplayers I've seen.
But sometimes,
really
like-
good job with the hair.
Oh yeah, but
Well-
sometimes for like there will be live action in a series I had no idea there was, but I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh was one of those.
Oh, what about Digimon? I'm just kidding.
Was there one? Pokemon.
No.
Oh.
Just the Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, but it was
Oh,
American
yeah.
though.
Which everybody says that's like the best Pokemon movie that they could do.
Cause Ryan Reynolds.
I'm like, no.
Cause Ryan Reynolds.
I feel like it was okay. It's a step in the right direction, but it's not the.
The Pokemon looked really well. Like they didn't go like super. Most of them looked okay.
Well, you hate Pikachu because he was fur, and you wish it was just like yellow or flat.
Okay, I can.
Oh,
complain
I
about
remember that debate we
I can
had.
complain about that.
He
Okay.
liked the tree coat.
So most people, I'm basing all of my stuff based on the anime and how it actually looks in games. Okay, Pikachu has more of a dachshund-like fur, like a wiener dog, super short fur, where it's shiny But when you actually like from far away, it doesn't look like the dog has fur, but when you finally touch it, it does have fur. The way that Pikachu looked in the movie, and Matt made a good excuse for it. He'd been living on the streets, so his fur would be grown out. But that I don't think that's a good excuse because it's like Dachshund's fur doesn't grow out like that.
Well, it's not a dachshund.
I know it's a
Pikachu.
mouse, but the way
It's
that
a
it looks,
mythical,
same thing.
non-existent
Okay,
animal.
Mewtwo has the same exact
Yeah,
skin as
Mewtwo
Pikachu.
shouldn't have been.
Right?
It should have just been skin.
So that means Mewtwo should have had fur on him too,
Mhm.
and he didn't. So where's the debate here? Pikachu should have the same skin type, same rubbery, nice look that Mewtwo has. And for some reason, they were like, "Oh, Pikachu's a mouse. He should have fur."
It's a bump.
And
they
it should be
Because they wanted to be cute.
Didn't
and
Gengar
cuddly.
have a fur too?
that. I
Who?
don't remember Gengar being in the movie.
I thought it was. I thought Gengar was.
Oh,
I thought he was in
God.
it.
Gengar's a
Gengar.
ghost. He shouldn't have any fur.
I swear I remember he had fur.
ethereal.
But anyway, I
He needed to
think
go Gengar.
Remember
He
I
can
think
just float through stuff.
it's time to move on to my more detailed reviews.
My more
One Piece.
detailed reviews.
Okay.
One Piece.
Thank you for the intro for that. Thank you. It wasn't condescending at all.
It was.
Anyway,
Wow.
continue.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about the Kung Fu
Okay,
Kitty live
well,
action.
First, I'll start with what I mentioned before, but Dragon Ball Evolution.
Boo. Now you can boo it.
Yay.
There's really not much to say about it. It's bad. Everyone knows it's bad. It's a perfect example of people in the West making a movie and not really getting the source material, so they try and change it to make it something it's not. I've always enjoyed the rumor that there was a couple of Japanese producers who were part of it, but they like deliberately were silent or misled the people making it in hopes of the West wouldn't be interested in making any more live action adaptations of anime. Like it would flop so bad, people would hate it so bad that no one would try it anymore. I don't know how true that is, of course, but I remember even when that movie first came out, like way back in 2009, people were talking about that rumor.
Well, why would they want to flop?
So that Hollywood would say like, oh, anime movies don't sell, and they wouldn't want to make any more.
But wouldn't they get money from that though?
Yeah, but like they want to be the ones making the movies, and the reason that it's some franchises come over here to the West is because the studios in the West have more money, and they're gonna bid more for it, and people will still get money, people will still get paid for it, but it's like Hollywood right now at least has more pull than studios in Japan.
I think it's about cornering the market. In
Yeah.
that case.
And like the only criticism I will criticize of Dragon Ball Evolution of people who are mad that Goku was white, and as I mentioned before,
Doesn't it take place in America?
it's ambiguous about where it is or when it is. It's kind of its own universe, which is like maybe the only thing it got kind of right. It's like because Dragon Ball, it is Earth, but it's not our Earth. They don't have Japan. They use Japanese words. They have Japanese letters. They also have Japanese or English words and English lettering. It's its own universe. There are pig people and there are animal people walking around.
Dinosaurs.
So it's like it didn't
Jigglypuffs.
matter that he was white. It mattered that he acted poorly and was directed poorly and was written poorly. And that's pretty much like everyone in that movie was like that because there are some good actors in that movie. It's just like they were like someone said, "Hey, here's his job," and it's whatever, just an anime. Just like it doesn't matter. Do it.
am Muten Roshi.
Yes. Chow Yun Fat was like, "I need a paycheck, guys. I'll do the song and dance. Don't worry about it."
I just like it when he goes from like super happy to
I love that.
It's stupid but funny.
Like,
It's been a while.
Last night, my grandpa, he died, and then his Chow Yun Fat's face like, oh. That's where that's from.
Yeah. Beautiful.
That's Justin Chatwin tries to project emotion.
Ooh.
But yeah, that's about it for Dragon Ball Evolution. Have you guys ever heard of Dragon Ball: The Magic Begins?
No.
What?
I thought you were going to say Dragon Ball, the Magic Beans.
Magic Beans.
Like, oh, what?
Dragon Ball: The
No.
Magic Begins.
No, I have not.
Is a live-action adaptation of Dragon Ball that came out in either. I couldn't be sure. I saw some back and forth about it. I'm sure someone else could know exactly, but it was like either 1989 or 1991. And it is an unofficial adaptation from Taiwan.
Wait.
Yes, Taiwan.
The country
Yeah.
We canceled China.
of China?
And
Well, shit.
it is about an hour and a half long. You can watch it on YouTube right now. It's in 10-minute segments. That's how old it is
Beautiful.
and how long it's been on YouTube. And it's
I need to watch it.
a lot like you brought up earlier, Carlos, like the low budget kung fu movies. And when I watched it,
Is
it was
that
it
what
was
you were showing
I
me
was sending you
of that.
pictures of that. And it's a lot of I watched the dub version, they dubbed it over. It's an adaptation of Dragon Ball, but it's specifically an adaptation of the first Dragon Ball movie, which is Dragon Ball Curse of the Blood Rubies, which is a retelling of the original arc of Dragon Ball. It's just that they added some more into it.
I like that.
And one of the funny parts about the movie in general is that since it's unofficial, at least in the dub version of it, they can't call everyone what they are. They aren't the Dragon Balls, they're the Dragon Pearls. It isn't Goku, it is literally Monkey Boy. Monkey Boy is his name. It is not Bulma, it is Sento,
Okay, that's fine, but
which is weird.
Monkey Boy, come here.
I'm not even joking, there's a lot of
Dude,
that.
those these people, man.
They were like the villains from the he's showing us pictures of it if you can look it up online.
I want to see.
They're villains from the Curse of the Blood Ruby movie. And it's funny because it opens with just like it's like a Taiwanese village, I'm guessing, and like the new village chief is receiving the Dragon Pearl because he's the new chief because they gotta protect it. And like these commandos and tanks and machine guns show in and they just slaughter the village. Like people running around, blowing up huts. And
Are you sure this isn't foretelling the future?
no, and like it's
The Red
it's
Ribbon Army.
it's
God
not.
bless
I don't think it is
Taiwan.
because it's like I said, it's based off the first Dragon Ball movie, which I haven't seen in a very very long time. But anyway, it's like I said it's Monkey Boy, and it's the same basic idea. It's like but
What's everybody else's? What are else they called?
Yamcha is called Westwood, which is the weirdest one because at least Sento is East Asian sounding.
Trap Man.
Westwood. Oolong is they just call him Piggy.
They're big.
Roshi, I think they just call him like the Turtle Man, basically.
Is Launch in there?
Turtle Man.
No, Launch isn't in it.
Train Monkey Boy.
Bar is in it, but they don't name Bar, and Bar is a parrot that talks.
Are you talking about Poir?
Bar, which is Yamcha's little like flying cat transforming thing.
And it's a what?
It's a parrot.
Is
That's
Yajirobe in
terrible.
this?
No.
Okay.
So
No, Yajirobe has Yajirobe.
but like, and it's
just himself.
and it's funny and it's ridiculous.
Who invited me?
And there's just parts of like because it's live action dubbing. So like there are parts where Goku has like 2 or 3 mouth flaps, but they have to say something really quick. It's like there's this really fast cut of like his mouth moves da and the line is Grandpa says all evil must die. Like stuff
Thank
like
you,
that.
Monkey Boy, for your contribution.
They
Blake
keep
keeps saying
they keep
That's his
saying
name.
like anytime they have a fight and they're like, oh, your kung fu is strong, like it's kung fu.
but it's never strong as mine.
It's
Here.
that kind of thing.
Kung Fu. Hoo-yah.
And the special effects are bad because it's a very low budget thing
wanna
from the
see
late
this
80s,
so
early
bad.
90s.
So it's like a bad film, but
Well,
like it's
no,
like
it's-
it's like one of those bad made films, but you gotta watch it.
Well,
Appreciate it.
Appreciate what it is.
Well, that's the thing. Like a lot of it is bad, but it's also like a good adaptation. It shows why Dragon Ball Evolution messed up so badly because the concept of like get the 7 Dragon Balls, make the wish, and defeat the bad guy is so easy. Like you could fit that in 2 hours, and that's the problem with any adaptation of anime, especially when you're trying to make it into a movie. Is like in the anime or the manga, they had so much time to do it. They had it spread out. In the movie, you only have 2 hours, and you have to condense things, and it becomes bad. And Dragon Ball: The Magic Begins shows that if with a basic concept like Dragon Ball has, at least the first arc, you can do it, and they did do it, and it was a pretty faithful adaptation. Like, of course, it's not exactly shot for shot, but that's what it is. Throughout the plot, it's like it turns out like they just keep running it. They don't have to really search for the Dragon Pearls very much. Like they just keep running. They just keep running to people who happen to have it. Like, of course, Monkey Boy had one.
Oh my God, it's Monkey Boy.
Sento had one. It was looking for it. It's not Chi-Chi. It's like from the Curse of Blood movies. Like the girl who's like her father is the chief.
Milk.
She ends up having one because the chief had one. Yamcha or Westwood had one because he stole it from someone. Piggy had one because his master gave it to him and told him to protect it. And so Turtle Man ends up having one.
Is that
So-
Master Roshi?
Yes. And then what they changed oddly is like his grandpa is captured. He doesn't die, and they save him at the end, so he's alive. So it kind of undercuts that.
Gohan's alive.
Yes, Grandpa Gohan, which they never call Gohan. They always just like
Grandpa.
It's just Grandpa.
Monkey Grandpa.
Monkey boy. Monkey boy.
Grandpa.
Monkey boy.
Oh, yes. The magic pole and Dragon Pearl are sacred treasures. I don't care about my life.
Is that what he sounds
Yes,
like?
kind of. Well, it's another one of those where it's like done over, but they only got like 4 people and they're everyone kind of thing.
Oh my god.
That sounds
So
like
I think
Sanders
they
and
got like
Bridge.
Sounds
they
great.
probably got like 2 guys and 2 women, and that's it. If I had to guess.
Monkey Boy, where's the Dragon Pearl?
No, and then they have like the wire fighting where you can clearly see the wires and all that. The
Is
big
it
climax
That's
is
beautiful.
they get all the Dragon Balls together and they're gonna fight the bad guy and like
What's the bad guy's name?
like Demon Horn or something.
What?
Like
Demon Horn?
or King Horn or something.
Is,
Demon Horn.
Like, I need all the Dragon Pearls.
Is
Rain
Nimbus in there?
arrows?
What? Yes, the Nimbus is in there. It looks bad.
What's it called? What they call the flying
Magic Cloud.
Monkey boy, get the magic cloud and get out of here.
This is the greatest anime adaptation of all time.
But the climax, they're fighting the bad guy. They go through the village. They're beating up all the underlings. They kill them.
yeah.
And then they get there and they kind of have, and then they're like, oh no, what do we do? Because he swallowed the other Dragon Balls he got from them because he stole the others from them. And they're like, what are we gonna do? And he's like, the master, she's like, oh well, put the other one in his mouth and then he'll explode. And that's what they do. They stuff the Dragon Pearl, the last one, in his mouth so that all 7 are together inside him and he explodes.
And
And the dragon comes out and the dragon, of course, looks horrible.
What is it? What is he called?
I think they just call him Dragon or Magic Dragon or something.
No Shinron?
No, it's Shinron. Because like the ending is like also before that, like the evil guy like takes control of all the villagers, so like they're all like zombies coming towards him, like oh, and then Goku or Monkey Boy starts to defend himself, and Grandpa's like, no, we cannot harm the innocent.
But they're clearly.
But then like of course they end up defeating him, and like the girl makes the wish to bring the village back and all the people back to life, and they're like your wish is granted, and then like it's a happy ending. And then Westwood turns to Monkey Boy, is like, I have a wish. My wish is to fight you. He's like, bring it on. And then they jump in the air and it's a freeze frame ending and it's uncomfortably long. Like usually for a freeze frame ending, it's like there for a couple seconds. It's there for like 30 seconds. And then they played like the ending theme song over it and it's like, and then it fades.
Imagine if we played that, then it just started rolling the credits there.
But no, it's like I said, it's ridiculous. It's not good, but it's one of those where it's kind of, it's
I
not
wanna
good,
see
but
it.
it's good because it's bad.
I
Would
wanna
you say
see it.
now
It's fun
good?
and
Okay.
entertaining, and it's actually a good.
It sounds like
An
an
adaptation.
adaptation, yes.
They got from point A to point B,
In the
and like
concept.
the things you wanted to see happen. He has the cloud, he has the pole, he's dressed decently right. He doesn't have super spiky hair. He kind of just has regular hair. He doesn't have a tail, but
But he monkey.
he Monkey Boy.
So do they still call
Walk in the ground, help me. I'm Turtle
he showed a
Man.
picture of like Turtle Man down on the ground, but that was for that shot is like they come to his island and start shooting it up, and
Oh, God.
he retreats into his shell, and how they create that effect is like the shell's on the ground, and then he pops up out of it, but he's clearly like in a hole. Like there's like cheap practical effects throughout
That's
it like
good,
that.
though. I like
Yeah.
stuff like that. That makes it good.
So yeah, that was Dragon Ball Magic Begins.
CG, I'm in my shell.
The next one I'm going to talk about
Ooh,
is
what now?
from a series that is one of my favorites called Another.
Oh.
The live action adaptation of Another, which I realize now that I watched the show, I haven't watched or read in a long time.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Like it was yesterday.
Like remember when
That one
the beach episode? I was like, oh, it's gonna be fun. You know, nothing bad happens at a beach episode.
What is this? That's this show.
That's yes, and another.
But that's-
another.
but it's
Well,
fun.
we're gonna spoil this, but the reason they went to the beach was because they thought they could get away from the curse by just driving.
I know, but like I thought it was funny.
Well, what happened was
nah.
that is actually, if I remember right, that episode is a filler. Like it doesn't happen in the original light novel, but it's good because what happened was one of the kids hit his head before they left, and he didn't know it, but he was like bleeding in his brain, and that's what happened to him. Like he wasn't just hit by the boat and died. He was swimming and then he fucking died, hemorrhaged in his brain, and then he was just laying there in the water, and then the boat hit him, and just destroyed his body. So like
beheaded him.
so the calamity still happened in the town. It was just like if you try to leave it, it's like it's still gonna try and get you before you go kind of thing. But it was still that like the overwhelming dread of like we can't escape this thing. That was the whole point of that episode.
Yeah.
So that
Um,
never
Scary.
happened.
Not in the original source material, but it's
Then
like
how did that guy die? originally?
I can't remember. I think he just got hit by a car.
Or
but-
Magic Boys, Magic
Uh,
Cloud.
Oh no, you got Isekai.
Magic Cloud.
That the another live action movie came out the same year the anime came out.
Really?
I need
Yes.
to see it too.
Well, I'm gonna tell you a bit about
Don't
it.
spoil it too
Just like to reiterate, it doesn't capture like another, especially like the first 3 or 4 episodes. It's all about the atmosphere. It's creepy. He feels isolated because he is, and then when he comes less isolated, the atmosphere changes, and you never really get that. They tried a couple times, but it's not.
That's good.
It's not as good. Like there's a couple of scenes of him at the hospital. Like the hospital's like too well lit, kind of. They changed again, spoilers for another if you haven't seen it. Sorry.
Spoilers.
But the climax of another, it turns out that his assistant teacher and his aunt were the same person. But you didn't know that because that's how anime works. You could see that they look like different people because everyone had kind of the same face. And they're always separated from each other. So you don't put it together as the same person until the end. And then it's revealed that they are in the end. In the live action, they tell you straight up that his aunt is the teacher. Because you can't do that really in live action. You can't say this is one person and have her put on some glasses and put up her hair. And then the next shot have her, with her hair down and act like, oh, these are 2 different people. So I understand that part of it.
What about
Wait,
Superman?
wait. I'm confused here. The whole point of another was to try to figure out who the
Missing student.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. His aunt was the extra person.
Yes, the way that you were explaining it made it seem like the aunt put on some glasses. And
No,
for some
he
reason
was
they didn't recognize that was her.
No, they
It's
didn't.
like
I
they're
was
not
like-
2 different people.
No, I was saying you can't do
It's just
that
the
in live
missing
action.
person. Yeah.
Well, but it worked in the anime because they were never together. Well,
They were never drawn. the same.
it was written in the light novel and in the anime where he's never interacting with, like when he's interacting with his aunt, he's like, he calls her my aunt. And when it's the teacher, he says the sensei or something like that because she made a rule earlier on that goes back to like, when I'm at school, I'm your teacher, don't refer to me, blah, blah, blah. So it's twist ending in the original, but you can't have that twist of her. So she was always on the table about being the extra person. So it's not a shock to you when you find out that she is. Or maybe it was to an extent, but it's not nearly
Well,
as
I
impactful.
thought it was only about the students.
No,
I
it
think
can be
that's-
teachers too.
Well, I thought that was the way that the anime brought about.
But
it.
then
It
when
was
she's
just
actually person, from
it was
the
one
last
of the
time?
students that I think had the first death or whatever, and that's what created the calamity from there. Is that there's always
Well, I mean, that teacher kills himself in front of all of them, though.
I don't remember that.
Oh my God.
Wait. No, keep going.
Well, no, that's all I'm saying. Is it's just I remember that. That's why everybody was thinking that it was a student that was an extra.
Yeah.
Because that's why they're.
That's
freaking out about it.
usually what happens.
That's why nobody thought about the assistant teacher.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't think about his aunt.
And like one of the calling cards of like, oh, it started is when they start school, but they don't have enough desks.
Yeah.
But what happened was they didn't have enough desks in the teacher's room. So like that's what made it a great twist. But you didn't know that's the end. So that the live action loses that because I understand why. Like I said, you can't have a live action and it not be obvious that they're the same person. They go back to, the basic story of another where it's like they invited death into the place because someone died and everyone liked her and they pretend that she's still alive. Well, for whatever reason in live action, when they pretend she's alive, they actually put like this really creepy doll in her desk. Like it looks bad, and they act like it's her for a little bit, but then like they're not really into it. So that was weird. Of course, everyone knows the most iconic death of another,
Oh no.
right? And what would you say that is?
The umbrella.
The umbrella. Well, they changed it a lot in the live action.
What did they change it to?
Okay, basically,
Piano?
they kind of make it a bit too Final Destination-y,
Handful.
which it already was. But I felt like in the
Yeah.
real source material, it was a bit more subtle about it. In the movie, it's like no, it's like things happen. So basically, like a janitor was in the courtyard of the school,
I'm gonna mop this.
and he was burning trash in the
Oh.
thing, and then there was leaking in the school building. So a teacher comes like, "Hey, Mr. Blah blah blah, come in here and fix this." He's like, "Oh, okay." So he leaves the fire there. So there's like a puddle on the ground next to the umbrellas because when you like you want an umbrella to dry, you leave it open indoors, like you put it on its side so it can dry off. There was like a group of them there. So Sasakibara is chasing Misaki down the hallway because at this point he doesn't know what's going on at all, and he kind of like wants to confirm that you're real. Like it's the scene where he walks up to her and he grabs her arm, like you are here, like I'm not crazy. But then of course the girl the girl with the glass in the original, The girl with the glasses just runs down the stairs because she's like, "Oh, my mom is hurt," and then she trips.
My mom is her.
In this one, she chases Sasaki Bara down to like, "Oh, you shouldn't be talking to her because blah 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 because oh, you're not following the rule we didn't tell you about." So it's like they're being kind of dumb.
Yeah.
But that was in the original too. So she chases him down and she sees him talking to her, and she's like, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing that. I can't believe this." And then right then, in the fire outside, something pops, and like I think it's a rock or something. It pops and then it sends the thing through the glass. The glass breaks and she's shocked by the glass, so she backs up and then she slips backwards and then she lands onto the umbrella.
I think I've seen
Through her
that.
neck. The problem with that is there's no way that she can land with enough force to get it through her throat all the way because it's not like a sharp pointed tip. It's dull, and she doesn't fall back hard enough to really do that. And she had longer hair, so it's like the hair is also in the way. So like she would fall into it and be like, "Ow," but like it's not going to kill her.
Maybe
So
the
that
neck.
was dumb. Like in the
I appreciate
original,
your censorship, by the way. No. Wait.
because in the original, like it makes sense because her whole body weight goes onto it, and there's gravity involved. Like you can do
And
that.
she's going face first.
Yes. So, but like the way they did it there, I just felt like you were trying to, I don't know, get around it, maybe make it less bloody. And then when she's lying there with it through her throat and she's coughing it out, she's like, "It's your fault."
It's your fault, boy. You did this to me.
So like that's another problem. Like the
Master
deaths just aren't as good. And to continue off that, like what's the second like most iconic or best death of another?
The teacher.
Suicide.
The suicide of the teacher, as most people would say,
I
right?
think so.
Do you know how he dies in live action?
By a common cold.
No.
A gunshot.
He is at his home, and his mother, like from the source material, his mother is bedridden. And he's taking care of her. He's like feeding her something, like oatmeal or something. I don't know. The power goes out. The power goes out of their house. And he's like, "Oh, what's up with that?" And he stands up and he kind of walks around. He looks outside, like, "Oh, maybe I should go." Blah blah blah. He turns around and because he can't see because it's dark, he trips, and he jams the spoon into his eye.
Oh!
And then he gets up because he doesn't realize right away. He gets up. He's like, "Oh, what's going on?"
God!
With the spoon in his
That's
eye.
funny. That's just funny. I would
And he's looking around like, "Oh, it's harder to see." And his mother's just laying there in the bed, not saying anything, just looking at him shocked. And then he's like, "Oh," well, and then because he starts getting woozy, he turns because he can't see well. He turns into the door frame and he jams it all the way in.
Ooh.
And then he falls back and he's foaming out the mouth. He's and his mother's just watching.
That's some good.
And I understand that there's not much she can do, but he thinks she can scream at least. But she's just watching, like, "Oh."
Like this? You're gonna give me right. Oh,
So that's how he dies, and I feel like that was just a way.
I feel like I got a spoon in my eye. Somebody tell me what's up.
And it's a metal spoon, so it's like.
Oh.
But like, it was
I've
just,
seen worse.
I just felt like that was a way to get around the idea of
That's
the
funny.
brutal suicide of him trying to jam his neck and kill himself.
Seems like he was more happier.
Oh.
Yeah, like he did. I mean, that was another thing. It was like, and that's what is lost in that particular death. The calamity hurts your mental state. He was already hurting bad, and it pushed him over the edge. But with it being completely accidental and just kind of that's taken away. So that's why it hurts.
What about the kid who had a heart attack?
He isn't really in it,
Oh,
and that's another thing that hurts from it. Like, in the light novel, and again, it's been years since I've read it, so I might be misremembering, but like it felt a bit more like they were more isolated. Like Sakibara and Misaki are kind of on their own most of the time, and the other characters are there, but not as integrated as they are in the anime adaptation. In the movie, they really don't do that. Like they really do that. It's like there's only them. Like the other characters are there, but like they're so unimportant and do nothing that they might as well have not been.
I don't really remember anybody else. The boat.
Remember the girl with the
heart attack.
What about the nurse?
the nurse? Thank you.
Oh.
Because
Did she die in the elevator?
she died in the elevator. In this one, she did die in the elevator as well. But like in the original, it's original. In the light novel, it's actually better because he's on the phone with her when it happens.
Hi.
And then she dies, but then she doesn't die right away because you don't always die right away. So he can still hear her death rattles on the phone.
You're on call now.
So it was like it was impactful. In the anime, it's still brutal because she dies and she's pretty much
on the phone.
he hears it, but he doesn't hear all of it. In the anime, he's there at the hospital of the day, so he's not on the phone with her. And like it was just like part of the glass in the elevator broke and like got her in the head. So like there's a big jar thing of glass like in her head, and then he sees the commotion. He goes by the elevator, and like the nurse is like, call the doctor. And he sees her. She's lying there with a big shard of glass sticking out of her head. The doctor's out.
Wait, how'd they take out the like in the end?
Well, I'll get that. Like I said, it moves too. It's like it suffers from what live action adaptations suffer from. It moves too quickly. They don't gel enough. Misaki is too friendly with him too quickly. In the original, she keeps her distance, and then even when
because that was how things work.
Yeah, but even when they know each other and they're both the non-existent person, she's a bit more hesitant. But then she keeps.
I'm sorry. I just remember the part where was it him who was getting pissed off?
He got mad
when he thought like they were dancing for real, but turns out it was all in his head.
It was all in his head.
Yeah, there is a part in the anime where
he's having a fantasy of them dancing in the classroom because they're both non-existent people, so everyone has to ignore them. So that was like his.
Well, I was putting myself in his shoes, and it's just like if the whole class is going to ignore me, including the teacher, then screw it. Like I'm gonna do whatever I want during class, and
they do that.
Try to get people to notice me.
Like the closest they get to that is they happily ran down the hall out of the room.
But no, I cheered when I thought that was happening, as Ramiro said. When I saw them dancing, I was just like, yes, that's my boy. Screw these people.
And
what happened?
Have your romance. Screw on the desk. Let's do this.
And then what happened?
And then
it was in his head.
Yeah.
But
that made me sad.
One of the like weirder decisions they made of the basic concept of like when Misaki uses her artificial eye, she can see the color of death. Right? And it's always described as it's just a color she can see, right?
Yeah.
For whatever reason, in the live action, they decide the color of death can't just be a color. It has to be like this tentacle sludge that's like coming out of someone. And that signifies that,
you have the tentacles.
Yes. So that was dumb.
What do you mean? I got tentacles coming out?
But anyway, they get to the end, and like there's another bad death. Like basically,
tell me.
Like it's the girl, if you remember in the anime, who has her hair in braids.
I don't remember most of them.
Is it that one with the pink hair?
It's not exactly pink, but she was like the head of like the countermeasures, the one who dies when the glass falls on her, and she's lying there like that, and it's kind of like a beautiful shot and all that.
Yeah.
That girl. In this one, she dies because they're at like the summer camp home. Everyone's panicking. There was like a steel cable that's meant to like tether a rowboat to a tree, but like the rowboat like drifted out, so it makes it like extends the cable, but like it shouldn't have been nearly as taut as it was. And she runs and she decapitates herself on it. But there's no way she was
not enough force.
She was not running with enough force to do it.
Well,
you have to be in a car for something like that to happen.
Yeah.
But she's just running like her own self, and she's like zook. And
I mean, that's got to be some good steel wire or something like that. Some steel string.
It's one of those
that will just cut through your neck.
It's like military grade wire.
And it's one of those where like the decapitation happens and like the body moves too much afterwards. Like she takes a few steps, she gets on her knees, she gets on her hands, and then she falls over. So like that's
telling you, like you're making me want to do like a slapstick version of another where the deaths are just stupid, like banana peel.
Oh no, her head came off.
Calamity.
And just
her head
to
came off?
wrap
she
up.
slips, lands on the concrete, and then her head just popped. How did that happen?
We don't know. The calamity.
Somebody get the doctor. The doctor's on fire.
The doctor got a glass in the forehead.
But, just to wrap up another in the climax. You remember the teacher who kind of started it and was as a librarian now? Yeah. Okay, he's there. And May doesn't know from the beginning that it's the teacher, because if you remember, she knows it's her from the beginning, but she doesn't want to tell Sakigawara because that's his aunt, and he'd feel bad. But she just finds out towards the end because she takes the patch off and she can see the tentacles like. She resolves she has to kill her because if you send the dead one back to death, then the calamity will end, at least for that year. And she's like, she has her like on the top of the stairs in this building. Fire's going on. She has the pickaxe. She's trying to do it, and Sakigawara is like, "No, you can't do it." And that teacher comes like, "Oh no, you can't do it."
Yes, I can.
And then she's like, the teacher like has the aunt by like the shoulders, and they're standing in front of the window, and like he starts to see the sludge come out of her, I guess, because he turns and he reacts to it. It's like the thing of death, and he's like, "Oh no!" And like right then, the fire outside makes the window explode, and he falls out the window, and he falls in the fire like, "Ah!" And then the teacher also falls out the window, and she's hanging onto the window-sill. And so Sakakibara runs over and hangs on to her. It's like, I got you, I'll pull you up. But see, now she knows that if she dies, then everything will be okay. So she tells him to let her go, and then she lets go.
Oh.
That's different a lot from the original, because in the original, he has to kill her.
And
She doesn't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And so it loses so much emotional impact when they do it like that, when she sacrifices herself instead of him having to do it. So
That's them taking.
Yes.
Hey, okay.
That's diminishes it
Before
more.
you talk about another one,
I need to drink some water, so you fellas.
Another.
Well, let's talk about the Shiki
Another one.
and live action series.
Wait, there was a Shiki live action?
Not the Shiki. I mean, Kakagiri.
Oh, okay, that's something I've kind of seen.
I thought you and Matt saw the whole thing.
I think we did.
We did. We saw it at a con.
And there's season 2 that came out.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
It just makes me
just-
laugh because like it's like breaks the fourth wall. Like what's that guy's name again? I forgot. The one that helped. They got her.
it. Broke ass.
Is that his name? Broke ass.
No, but now he.
You mean the main male protagonist?
Yeah.
Okay, the one that no one likes and is very unuseful.
I thought he's cool. I didn't mind him.
It's the people that have the large bets.
No,
in
the
winner series.
Kakagiri live action series is pretty good.
I
from
just
what
laughed because
remember.
like made him so
got
different.
me.
He's so opposite from what he is because like he's so in the live action he's so energetic and everything and he breaks the fourth wall. We can win this, can we?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot. That's how like the end of the episodes, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are we gonna do now? And he looks at his camera or stuff like that.
Yeah, he's all.
So I could do without
Jamami,
that.
Jamami betting so much money. You think we're gonna survive? Get you next week.
Yes, that was good. That's what made that series good.
Oh, the only other thing I remember that is like
Stylistic choices.
when they do like the crazy like reaction to like something happening in the game they're playing, and they made their eyes like super like narrowed all of a sudden out of nowhere. Yeah, that was interesting.
But I mean,
yeah,
it was almost
it was
like
a pretty
pic-
decent one.
It was like a shot for shot, but like little different elements there and there.
Carlos,
Okay.
what do you gotta say? You've just been over there just quiet.
Because I don't feel like this guy over here is gonna cut off.
Go ahead, say something.
Say something.
Say something.
What like back? I'm just bringing this back to another. Like, what happened to the other ones? Like the one guy with the glasses who got hit over the head. We're trying
Bonk.
to kill. Yeah,
I think
Sakakibara.
again, like they don't focus on anyone else in the class except them really. So I think what he might have been in it, but like he didn't look right. I know there's a part where everyone is in the hotel trying to kill each other, and they go to the kitchen, and the guy is trying to. I think the guy you're talking about tried to kill Sakakibara, and Mame comes in and saves him because he hits the guy in the back of the head with a pan. But while they were fighting, like a gas line got knocked loose. And so they get out of there and she's like, "Yo, you got to go." And then he wakes up and he's mad. He's like, "Oh, damn it." And he swings and hits the knife against like a rack that's holding pots and it creates a spark. And so he explodes.
What about the girl who accidentally hung herself while trying to kill?
That
Moose.
happened to a guy in the movie.
And
He
instead of
like
her,
I can't remember if he jumps or pushes out the window, but then like right then like the electrical wire that had come loose like wraps around him, like a ghost controlling it, like zoo zoo zoo, and strangles him and like shoots him.
Have you seen that live action one of the? Dang it, I forgot what it's called. Those guys that become robots and go bang, bang.
Oh,
Oh.
in Inuyasha.
Yeah.
I haven't.
There's a live action of that?
Yeah.
No.
Like there's a part where like I think it's from the anime too. Like where have you seen the anime?
Yes.
You know the part where like he's all getting bullied by those guys and they're like, "Come outside, look over there. Here's these binoculars." Bang. The live action was pretty good too, because there was more like over there. It was like I don't know. I just feel more. But like the part whenever like he does I seen the clip where he when he goes to the front of his dad's house and shoots all the reporters.
Yeah.
It was so funny because I think there was so much CGI in there. It's just like blood everywhere, like bang, 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 bang,
so
bang.
about those Ruroni Kenshin live
Oh.
action.
Bang, bang,
We'll
bang.
save that one.
But then there's
But
a.
one,
Alright.
what we're gonna talk about now.
Have you seen Parasite?
No, I
There's a
haven't.
Parasite live
Yeah,
action?
there's live
Yes.
action.
Oh my god.
What?
Yeah, it's
What we're gonna talk about right now
What?
is one live action adaptation made in the West called Speed Racer.
Oh.
You like that? I like that.
I
Fast and Furious.
really like it. I
Vin
feel
Diesel?
like everyone and their mom has talked about it, so I don't want to go into too detail about it. But like,
Family.
Would you recommend watching it while high?
Maybe.
I think it was the most
It is-
colorful thing.
It is very like I can understand why some people would be off put by the style, but it's like
It's meant to be that way.
they really if you take nothing else away from Speed Racer, even if you don't like it, take solace in the fact that they tried. And a lot of times when it's a Western adaptation of anime, they just like, oh well, it's already a marketable thing. Like we don't have to put much effort into it. It's like put it out there. In Speed Racer, they fucking tried. There's effort into it.
Like they cared.
Like they cared. The first like 15 minutes is crazy, full of exposition. It's just packed into there, trying to. I think that was their remedy, trying to get over like how limited time you had to do a series and try and tell the story. The little brother and the monkey are the worst parts of the movie.
Yeah.
But to be fair, they were always like the worst parts of the show from what I remember, from what I've seen of it. So it's like that's,
Monkey Boy, what should we do?
Because they always try to sneak.
Grandpa
it
said, "All evil must die."
Yeah.
It's over the top, but like the series was over the top, so you can't really say they didn't get that part of it. The villain is pretty good, especially like his speech when Speed figures out like it's all a fix, and he's like, "You poor naive boy," and like this is my religion and stuff like that. Like he's
have money. I have power.
yes,
can't beat me because
and he's very,
better driver.
well, no, he's runs the company.
Yeah.
Like, he was trying to get him to sign with.
Look at all these
It
people
just-
that I hired to cheat to kill you.
Pop's name
No, it's John Goodman.
is literally Pops.
It's John.
That is his name.
His name.
It's
is
not a
Pop
nickname
John
for
Goodman.
oh, you're Pops, my dad. It's like Pops. Are you Pops Racer? Here you're being served. And I was like, oh my god, his name's actually Pops.
Here, Jenny.
The when they do the race out the team race when it's the three cars, the theme ones like there's a Viking team. And I was like, what the hell?
It's
but
wacky
like
races.
I know it was really.
But I kind of like that though. I mean,
it's
funny.
No, it was good. And like the thing with Racer X, like, you know, the stereotypical, like, oh, of course it's your brother, but it's good in the live action because he immediately suspects it's him. So like he's not. Us as the audience aren't insulted by it being like, oh, well, he has no idea. Like, well, how can he not know?
Sorry, we are getting
So he.
a picture of the live action Phoenix Wright.
So he knows it's him, or he suspects it's him. But then, like when he's like, oh, takes off his mask. Like, oh, it's not you. It's like, no, sorry, he died. But then at the end, it's revealed, oh, he had plastic surgery. It is him. Other things about it was just like crazy, like when the ninjas attack when they're sleeping.
That was funny though.
That was weird because then like Pops Racer's like more like ninja, terrible what passes for a ninja these days. And I'm like, okay, we know like.
More like Nanja. I'm John Goodman.
I was like, yeah. And just like the climax is good. It's this crazy thing, but like
Yes, and then he wins.
he
There's an
wins
orgy
and
of
it's good. But like
color.
at the end, like at the core of it, it's a story about that is everyone can identify with. Of you have an idea of something you idolize, you really like, and then when you find out that it's not what you think and you're demoralized by it, like can you either toss it aside or try to make it what you thought it was? And that's kind of what Speed does, and that's what the movie's about.
So pretty much they'll meet your heroes in real life.
Kind of, yeah.
I told you for Cross. Did you know they're making a live action Gundam?
For Netflix,
They're
right?
thinking about it.
No, they are.
No, it's set in stone. It's
yeah,
happening.
it's gonna happen.
Oh God.
Well, the thing is, like,
Which one?
it doesn't say, but
No, I think they've
favorite.
announced it. I can't
But there's
remember
a
what it was.
lot-
Are they going with the original Gundam, or are they going to do the Gundam Wing one? I'm like, oh God.
No,
I
it's 'cause-
do think it's one of the older ones.
No, I'm going through just the list of live actions.
G Gundam.
Did you know Erase had one?
G Gundam.
Erase?
Yeah, I knew about
I
that.
didn't know
About the
that.
mini ones. Is that SD gun?
Well, about
Yes,
Tokyo
SD.
Revenge.
I remember that one the most.
I didn't know about that one.
That's my experience. With
Wait,
that.
Tokyo
you know
And the
what?
last movie I want to talk about, because I wanted to watch a movie from a series that I haven't watched. Because, you know, when you make a live action adaptation of something, it's always you're going to compare it to the original if you've seen it. And you hold it to a certain standard.
May I introduce it?
Yes.
The Grinch.
No, he's talking about Tenacious D.
There's a live action of that?
Yeah. Did
No
you know?
way.
Yeah. Imagine we can finally get to see tribute.
Where is this?
Live action.
Oh, yeah, that's another one. I haven't seen that one.
See
No.
that one?
It's called Dragon Ball. Son Goku fights Son Goku wins.
Wait, what?
You got to put those columns like Son Goku fights, Son Goku wins.
Because he monkey boy.
No, but look at this. Look at this
Yeah,
still
let
frame.
me see. Is that wait? What the fuck? I'm pure.
Oh, my god.
Smoking a cigarette. Look at the yacht
He's
shit.
smoking a cigarette. I'm sorry,
Wow.
guys. Y'all can't. You need to post all of those on the Instagram. Please.
You would rather this
All
guy-
the ones. That's a paper mache mask, isn't it?
Oh my
Swear to
god.
God, you need to save those pictures and you need to post them. These people don't know what we're looking at.
Yeah, that's
It's
part of the problem with
hilarious.
podcasting. God.
Oh,
These
But
photos-
anyway, I wanted to watch the live action adaptation. He's dying over there.
he just saw a picture of Monkey Boy. Looks like he just put some gel in his hair. And
Yeah.
it's just
He's just like
Monkey Boy became Devil
underwear.
Man.
I don't know. Is he dirty
I'm a
underwear?
child. Okay. Really, what we want to talk about is how the Grinch stole Ruroni Kenshin.
Yes. Death Battle Grinch versus Ruroni Kenshin. I need it now.
Oh god, I didn't even watch the new one yet.
So Ruroni
I only
Kenshin is
samurai.
what I'm talking about. I know the basic story of the series. I think I watched like the first episode or two
Samurai.
like a decade ago. So it's like I'm not completely blind into it, but I don't have an
I
emotional
don't know
connection to
anything
it.
about it at all.
I don't know the details. So I went into it kind of blind and just watched it. And I won't go too into detail about it just because you need to watch it. Because I've always heard like, oh, what's the best live action adaptation of anime? It's like, oh, the Ruroni Kenshin movies.
Oh yeah.
And like, yeah, after this, it's pretty.
And
I
you-
only watched the first one, and it's pretty damn good. It looks good. A lot of times when it's an adaptation of an anime, like, oh, they don't seem to put too much effort into it. This one felt a lot of effort. It looks nice.
Did you watch the dub?
No, I watched it subbed.
The action
Is there a
sequence-
dub?
There is a dub.
The action sequences. Are
The
pretty
action
good.
sequences looks really good, and what to bring that up, like one of the complaints about Hollywood now is like the fights feel and look too choreographed. And I know in the Ruroni Kenshin, of course, they're choreographed, but like they did a really good job of making it feel more spontaneous, and the movement was really fast and fluid, but not too fluid, not too rigid. So it's really good. There's kind of an unintentionally funny moment of it when he's like, it's his past, and he's having a revelation about, oh, I shouldn't kill people, and it's like there's almost like a Black Knight from the Mighty Python in it when he cuts the guy down and he gets back up. He's like, I can't die yet, and then he cuts him down again. He's like, I refuse to die, and it's supposed to be an emotional thing, like I have someone to live for, but like it's kind of a Black Knight
Well,
thing.
you have someone to die for, and that's me.
But like its main bad thing is like all adaptations, it could use more time to gel. The people are together, but you don't feel them together. You don't see them together. You don't gel as the group. When you have a series that has like a group of characters, you want them to be together. You want them to go through things, and so you can feel the connection that they have. And that doesn't exactly work in the movie when you don't have the time for it. The only other thing I'd say bad about it is like there's a part of the climax when like the heroine is caught by the bad guy, and the bad guy has like this hypnosis bullshit.
Hold on.
As Carlos loses his life.
What are you looking up, son? We share with the class.
Yes, please.
He's filming us.
You feel me? Share with the class.
I need to know what's going on here.
Okay.
What's happening?
What's he looking at?
He's looking at a very handsome man.
Yeah, but what is he doing?
Yeah.
He's filming me doing something. I just don't know what. He's got like an eggplant on my face or something.
What are you doing, man?
We can't stop. We have to keep going. Carlos is
Anyway,
gonna have
like
to
in the
die.
climax, the bad guy catches the heroine, and because Ruroni Kenshin's whole thing is like, I don't want to kill people anymore. We shouldn't use swords to kill people.
Is that why he has a reverse sword?
He has a reverse sword. So that guy is like puts the girl under hypnosis, and she can't breathe. He's like, oh, I bet she only has about 2 minutes left. It's like she either has to will her way through it, or you have to kill me. Those are the only 2 ways it ends. And of course, when he says that, it's like, okay, she's gonna will her way through it, and that's what happens. But the fighting's really good, like I said, and it's nice. And really, that's all I have to say about it. You should really give it a shot, as Carlos fucking dies.
And then what I like about it too is like, fun fact, the guy who's gonna play Zoro in the live action One Piece is in that
live
movie.
action.
Is it Ruroni Kenshin?
As him?
No, he's in the.
Yeah, he's in.
I'm saying the actor is in Ruroni Kenshin.
Yes, I think so.
So like that's why I'm like, okay, this guy's gonna be like a good kind of like knows what he's doing with swordsman and stuff like
And
that.
I am looking forward to live action One Piece series. The
And-
casting looks pretty good so far.
I am too. It's gonna be good.
And then-
haven't
and
we
then
haven't started
Carlos
the
think
Cowboy
about
Bebop live action series yet, though I'm at least gonna give it a shot.
I've heard that it's.
I've heard bad things as well, but like
Give it a try.
sometimes you have to see something with your own eyes.
Well, here's a question for you.
And I feel like that's sorry.
Okay, cut me off.
I feel like that's about all I have to say about some live actions I saw recently.
Okay. Well,
And everyone else, please add on.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this question. What anime would you like to see a live action of?
Ooh, that's a good question.
And it could be
Carlos
redone
has
if
to
you wanted to
answer this
redone.
question.
I think a high budget, faithful adaptation of Dragon Ball would work. At least the first arc. After that, it gets messy because you'd probably have to combine all the tournament arcs into one.
It's just the Adventures of Monkey Boy again.
You just need this, the
But
quest of gathering the 7 Dragon Balls.
But you
it
realize
just works so well.
Yes.
Yeah. But what I think too is that everyone's gonna want, if they do make another one, at this point of the Dragon Ball franchises, they're gonna want a Super Saiyan at least in there, and that's the problem.
Well, no, if you do Dragon Ball,
But
can't
you
have
understand
it.
how many more people know more about Dragon Ball Z than Dragon Ball? Know the original story. How many people who watch Dragon Ball Z know the original story of Dragon Ball?
They should. It's a prequel.
Not necessarily. You
canon.
don't need to watch it though.
Well, technically, it's a prequel to Dragon Ball Z, but Dragon Ball's the first one.
Well, it's more Dragon Ball Z is a sequel to Dragon Ball.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was what I was saying.
Yeah, but you don't really need to watch it though, do you?
Yes.
Why? None of those characters
Well,
are
I read
returning.
it and I liked it.
Well, yeah, maybe you, but not a
No,
lot
the
of
other
people.
characters are still there. They exist in the world. It's just
Remember Launch?
they're backseated because
No.
yes,
No one
Launch
remembers
is a
Launch.
good example.
But what I'm trying to tell you,
These
like,
characters exist
but like I'm
in
just
the
tell-
world.
but I'm
They're
just-
just not relevant. Because
but what did Matt say earlier about
Frieza's super strong.
What did Matt say about live action? Try to get to the normies, and a lot of normies know about Dragon Ball Z.
Okay, then do DBZ then.
Yeah,
oh,
have
wait,
it to where
it's too
Rance
long.
gets
No,
killed.
you could just do the first Reddits. Reddits.
I don't know. That would be kind of a hard story arc
Right.
too, because Goku literally has to die and come back to life.
Nobody will believe that.
Well, no, it's not about belief. It's
Yeah,
just,
it is. It's totally about that. How are you gonna get the normies? It'll be like
because you'd have to go
he
all the
came back
way
to life. How does he do that?
from introducing all the characters. Assuming you start with Dragon Ball, like assume no one has someone's watching that movie who's never seen Dragon Ball, doesn't know the plot. You'd introduce all the characters. You'd have Raditz show up. You have them fight Raditz. You'd have Raditz and Goku die. You'd have Goku in the afterlife. You had Vegeta and Nappa coming. You'd have everyone else
Yeah.
preparing for it. You'd have them Goku coming back. You'd have the final battle between Goku and Nappa and
Long.
Vegeta.
Yes, too.
You
I know.
couldn't
I
pack
know.
that into a movie
know.
and it be done well. You'd need a series.
Yeah. But I mean, I like yours. But what I'm saying is, it's like, does it have to be connected to the storyline at all? Can it just be a fanfic of its own?
No.
That's
No,
where
I get what you
it
mean
goes
in the
wrong.
way that an anime movie is its own thing.
Yeah.
It's just the same concept.
Yeah.
I actually wouldn't mind that either with an anime adaptation of like, it is its own thing. It's all everything is already established.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's an original story like an anime movie is.
Yeah.
Like for all the Dragon Ball and One Piece movies, like it's its own thing. But it's just this one happens to be live action.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't mind those either.
Yeah. See, that's something that could work. But at the same time, the problem is a lot of people, you got to know what you're
Yeah,
watching.
you'd have to. Only in Japan would something like that be made. I think.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do it over here in the West because, like, no, we need people. We can't just throw it out there. People won't get it. Kind of thing. And another thing I
They
thought
threw
of,
Dune out there. And goodness.
Dune
Hey.
has plenty of adaptations already, and it's
That's what I'm
Western
saying.
already, and it's
But I didn't know
Well,
there's
go
multiple
out there,
adaptations of Dune, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying for the normies that watched it, they're like, hey, yeah.
Hey, I got me interested about the worm. The Gorn God.
the Golden Path.
The Golden
Well,
Path.
The
that-
Golden Path.
Oh.
But that made me think of another one of I would like a live action Black Butler series.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh.
They made a live
Yes.
action Black Butler movie. I never saw it because the concept looked really dumb, and as far as I know, everyone hates it.
Let me ask you a question. Would you cast Sebastian like an Englishman or a Japanese man?
I would cast Sebastian as an English
I
man.
think he would have to be white because they're
And British.
All
Well,
of them
they
are
are
British.
they're in
British.
19th century England. They are white except for the characters that aren't white. Mayrin is not white,
Yeah.
so
The
she would be
caretaker.
Chinese. Tanaka is
Wait, did you say
Japanese.
caretaker?
Is it caretaker or is
No,
it the other
it's
caretaker?
Undertaker.
Oh.
CL,
Caretaker.
CL, Sebastian, and like the majority of the characters should be white. And like 10 episode series on like Netflix or Amazon or something would work well because people would eat that up because people love that time period. It's such a sellable time period, and you can start with it and people will be into it.
Yeah.
But the live action anime or live action Black Butler movie they made, the concept was enough for me. Like, oh no.
What was the concept?
Basically, it's modern day, so that's already knocked against it.
Okay.
So-
It is Sebastian, but not exactly. And like,
What do you
he
mean
has,
not exactly?
well, it is. It's supposed to.
I
Be,
don't have legs.
I think the implication is my memory of it. I could be wrong. To be fair, is that it is supposed to be Sebastian of the Black Butler we know. He's Japanese because he's made himself look Japanese.
Because
Which
it's in
does
the future?
It's in the future. It's in the modern day. It's in Japan.
So I'm
And the-
guessing he already dealt
and
with
the-
CL and all that.
Well,
other
I
stuff.
guess, but the CL in the series, who
Who's
calls her, I think it's a girl, calls herself CL, is like a descendant of CL or something,
CL.
and they're in Japan, and that was enough for me to be like, no, you
You know-
didn't need to do this.
you know what
like
show-
it was just a desperate attempt. Like, well,
It's an
Black Butler's popular, and we want to make a live action movie, but
How
we don't
about
want
you
to
make the
have
next
them make it in the West.
anime art
So,
or the
there you
anime
go.
movie? How about that? We've been waiting a couple years now. Where's the next part?
For Black Butler.
Yes, I've been waiting for that school arc. It's happening.
Wasn't it?
Just don't say what it's called.
Not gonna.
Thank you.
But you know which one I would like to see?
Oh.
Shiki.
You could
That has to be a
possibly do
series,
that.
but not a movie.
Yeah.
But that could be done.
Well, I'm saying live action in general. I'm not saying like it has to be a movie or anything.
That show was crazy though.
Well, people would love it. They'd eat up.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Okay,
But my version. But in
here we
my,
are with our guest Sunako here.
but in my version, she dies.
Oh no. I don't want
What about the person trying to save her?
He dies too. They all
Okay.
die. He dies from his best friend.
show?
The scientist doctor?
Yeah, like they were best friends, right? Growing up.
Pretty much, yeah.
How do we conclude?
Sorry for spoiling Shiki.
Well, that's
Tanner,
another
what's
one.
yours?
So, like, I guess we'll move on to like
Oh,
closing
I need
arguments.
to
Well,
say-
Is that
no,
about
no, no,
yours?
wait, wait,
Well,
wait.
let me ask them before they
I
ask.
haven't said one yet, and he hasn't said one.
I know.
Okay, Carlos.
I was asking if Ramiro was done.
No, I mean there's other ones.
You
Like
can't have more than one.
yes, Matt had two.
Adidas.
Adidas.
Adidas. Anyway, what's your one then? Maybe it's
My
one
other
that I was
one?
thinking about.
What were we thinking about?
I don't know. I want to see what you're thinking.
Shoot, man. Now you got me thinking. Now I change it up. Now.
I-
No,
well,
no,
you-
actually, no. I actually would want
I
to see
want
like
Naruto.
not Naruto.
Fairy tale.
No, you know. Do you think it'll be weird to do a slice of life live action one?
No, they do it all the time.
Yeah.
Really?
There's tons of live action.
I haven't seen one.
Or a guy.
No,
No.
but they don't. Well, there's one there, but I'm sure it would work fine. What other like there's some. Oh God, wasn't Anohana has live action?
Really?
Tons of slice of life romantic comedies. have
Well,
live
I haven't
action.
really seen
Well,
that.
Well, they don't
Epic?
get as. They're not as like
Big.
they don't grab as much of our attention over here, but they do come out and they are there.
Yes.
I would like to redo. Now you got me thinking, man.
Full Metal Alchemist.
No.
I already did that.
I-
Trigun, actually. Trigun.
Trigun.
Trigun would work.
Is it Johnny Bosch in a wig?
No.
I would love that.
He's too old.
He's just, that'd be hilarious though. He's just walking around.
Hey, he's
be
going
like,
to the Albuquerque
"We
Comic
done
Con.
yet?"
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I've met him a couple times.
Yeah.
I felt like I annoyed him the last time though.
What would you say?
No, okay. Short con story.
All
It was like
right.
Salvaton 2017.
Was I there?
No.
I don't think so.
All
He was,
right.
and it was when they didn't set up the autographs very well. When it's just like, oh, all the guests will be in this hallway with this L-shaped table, and you just go down the line and get.
Was that his last performance with his band?
It was
No.
around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
So
How's it
like, he and his
How's it?
band were at the end of it, and like I kind of like. I already had some Eyeshine stuff signed before, so I was like, I don't really need more. But like I had gotten my Blu-ray of Code Geass finally, so I was like, oh, Code Geass, one of my favorite series, and he's of course Solution that. And he's sitting at the table, and they're like, the band is next to him, and they're like palling around, and he's turned and he's looking at them, and I stand in front of him, and I don't want to be rude and wait for him to like, I don't want to be like,
That
hey,
guy.
what are you doing, kind of thing. He's like, it's whatever, and then like he eventually turns, and is like, oh. Like he didn't realize
just
there.
tried like your best Johnny Young Bosch impression. Be like,
Hey, how's it going?
what are you doing?
And then he assigned my Code Geass, then my Toradora Blu-ray as well. and he
It's for real estate.
sometimes when I'm with like someone semi-famous that I like, I kind of like clam up and get shy. So like he tried to make conversation with me, and then like because he's signed to our door, he's like, oh,
Power Rangers.
he's like, oh, I really like that series, and I was just like, yeah, yeah.
Good for you.
And then I was like, oh, thank you. And then I just scurried away. And I wondered, like, my own thing is, like, I hope it didn't come off, like, rude or something, even though I don't think that wasn't my intent, of course.
What
It was
a
like,
wonderful.
it was like one of the more
struck.
awkward encounters I've had with anyone from, like, the anime industry.
Would you say kind of like a starstruck?
A bit.
Yes.
Nothing will be as bad as when I met Sean Schimmel.
Oh,
that,
God.
okay, we'll talk about that
Johnny
later.
could choke
Yeah.
you to death.
Okay, but anyway, what live action would you want to see?
Him first. You never
No, let me ask you first. Since you didn't talk that much,
That's true. I need.
I'm
one
giving you
more
the
thing.
spotlight.
I don't want the spotlight.
Well, you got the
Unlike
spot-
you whore.
Here's the spotlight.
Okay.
Can you have that four
Speak
out?
now or
They're
forever hold your
brothers, of
peace.
course. They're
Okay.
gonna fight.
Okay. Let me see. Live action.
Sibling rivalry. That's live action anime. Okay.
Oh, putting me on the spot. You know what? Just for him, I wanted him to do one for my brother. Oh,
Beastars. Oh my god. Oh my god.
How would you do Beastars?
Okay, would you want it to be like
I want 'em in
is
suits.
everyone is a CGI character, or they're
No.
like full furry suits?
I want suits. I want to see how good they can make the
Oh my
puppetry. I'd love it. It'd be so horrible
like
yet
Jim
so great.
Henson's Beastars.
Or they're gonna take the cop out route and they're just gonna put the parts on them.
Oh yeah, like they'll just give like them animal ears, but they're like people or something.
Or the
Oh,
tails.
No, that's
Oh,
worse.
You made me think of another like
Not
I'm
even
pretty sure there's a
stylized,
live
right?
action Love Is War.
Oh, I think there is.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Tokyo Ghoul.
How'd you like that for a choice?
That's a good
That'd be
choice.
funny. But like I said, what would happen is like those two or those three options. Everyone is CGI characters, so it's like 30 Jar Jar Binkses, or everyone is big
Wait,
furry
did you just say
suits.
30 Jar Jar Binks?
Yes. Or like they have the bare minimum. It's like, oh, this is Lego Sheep. You know it's Lego Sheep because he has the nose or
And
the
the
tail.
tail.
No. It's just Bendis and his Jack.
But you can't really do
Hi
that because
guys,
they're all...
I'm Jack.
Hello, I'm a dog.
Rough.
Ruff, ruff.
Okay, what about you?
Because he put me on the spot.
Look
at
I
my
had to
tail.
throw something out there 'cause
Hurry,
I
go.
couldn't
Tell
think
us
of
what
one.
you
I'm
would
trying
want.
to think of one.
You said you had
I
one.
did not.
So you lied.
I said I needed to think of one.
No, you said me and you were thinking of the same ones.
No, I said I wanted to
He
do
wants the
two
Kingdom
at the
Heart
same-
one.
What?
The Kingdom
Kingdom
Hearts.
Yes.
That's not an anime though.
It's a video game.
It's Japanese.
It's Japanese.
And it's in the style of Final Fantasy, therefore anime.
Oh, fuck off.
Yes. No, we're not talking about video games though.
I can tell you the problem about live
I want
action video
Mickey
games.
Mouse, House of Mouse.
Did they? Oh,
Okay, would he be CGI or furry?
let me ask you this: did they do a live action
Oh,
Dororo?
Hi there.
Yes,
everybody.
they did.
They did.
Yes, I remember when
Yeah,
I was,
we did. They did.
I was sending you those screenshots from it.
Oh
Yeah.
But
god.
they changed a lot. I haven't actually seen it, so I can't really say much about it. But
I'm
like
trying to think.
Doro was like a full grown man, and I can't even remember. Doro,
The kid.
the kid, is like a full grown, not full grown, but like more like
mature.
mature, like teenage girl, and it's clear it's a girl. It's never ambiguous.
Mm.
Doro.
Mm.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of a good show. There's so many shows.
What's big?
Start listing out some shows.
That should.
Black Clover.
No.
I haven't seen that show yet.
Jesus Christ.
Ninja Magicians. Yes.
Code
I
Geass.
already have a live action of that. It's called Passion. The Christ. Code Geass. I don't know. I don't know if they could
Fruit
do that
Basket.
That would be really
right.
hard.
It's a long one.
because it's long. It has lots in it, and it's multiracial.
What?
And it's mechs.
And it's
Code
mixed.
Geass would
But
be
like,
hard.
But yet they're doing One Piece
One Piece. It's on a boat.
I'm on a
with a lot of
Couple
characters.
islands. CG the islands.
Okay,
Get
what
on
about
the
what about
boat.
what
It's
about?
not
Okay,
that.
let me. I'll give you some list. What about Fruit Basket?
Fruit Basket could do. You could do that. I just haven't seen any of those.
What about Air?
I haven't watched that yet.
What about
just
Canon?
Oh, you know,
I've
I just
not
don't
watched that
You know,
yet.
I bought you that. You said you were gonna watch it.
I know it's in a drawer.
Baki,
Yes,
Oh god.
Black Lagoon.
I think any sports anime
That could
could
work.
be done. Black Lagoon would be nice.
Yeah.
Live action slam
I
dunk.
Well,
don't
no,
know.
the
They
problem-
could screw that
the
up
problem
because
with
it's supposed to be dark.
like
They'd
you
censor the
sports
crap out of it.
anime, you're at that point.
Hitalia.
The Prince of Tennis live action movie was one I did see, and like it's okay. The only thing that makes it wonky is like
Dijon nightclub.
no, it's like
I was
no,
gonna say DiGiorno.
no. It's just like the problem is like they treat it like it's real tennis, but then like when they have the tennis match, then they have the stupid ridiculous stuff sometimes.
Devilman Crybaby.
I think.
Slam dunk.
Yeah, come on. Yes.
You think?
I mean, they could.
Hitalia.
That's just Saturday Night Live.
So no slam dunk.
Ready girlfriend.
Oh, okay. You just going
I think
through-
there was one of that.
we're just-
Why the
yeah,
hell are
keep
you
going.
here, teacher?
Just keep going through.
Monster Resume.
No,
That'd be harder.
Oh god.
That'd
My
be a
Love
CG
Story.
trap.
there
I've
is
not
live
seen
action of
that.
that.
How's the guy look like?
Like
He's
a
just
big guy, I think.
He's just a big dude.
Shit. What's this one? Do you remember this one?
Ugly bastard.
I forgot what it's called. What's the name? It usually has the.
Say I
English.
love you.
Say I love you. Yes.
I've never
Say I
seen
love
it,
it.
so I want to know. If Brandon was here, he
No,
could
I've
tell
seen
us.
it. I've seen it.
Oh well, then you tell us.
It's nice.
It could be done.
Live action Helsing.
Nazis are a problem.
I think anything with just people in it would be fine.
Oh, Tanner would like to
Pull it
see
off.
this live action.
What?
Oh no, we're not gonna
What?
bring that up. You don't get to know.
I need to know.
We'll let you know after.
I
the
mean, you
podcast.
would like it, but like,
Is it? I'm
Like,
a horse.
so,
I want to
Whatever
watch
that
this.
show was called.
Magic Girl, Madoka.
Madoka, Magica. That could work.
hmm,
It'd be
Just
a little
copy and
hard
paste
though.
stuff.
it'd be tough. but-
CG's ridiculous.
I want a live action Kamen Rider.
I think we've kind of exhausted the subject.
Hunter
so
Hunter.
Hunter.
That one would be a bit hard.
that one's
because
a long
Pedophile?
series.
It's long
It's
and
like
there's lots
One
of
Piece.
moving parts and people in it.
What about
Lots
this
of
one?
stuff.
There is a lot.
I
of
know
fun.
there is.
I almost
Like
watched
what?
the Disastrous Life of Second K.
Psychic?
I almost watched that as
Psychic
well, but I
K?
didn't have time.
I
I-
want.
Sword Art Online.
I want my live action
Ooh,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
sorry.
Magi.
I want my live
Yes.
action Yu-Gi-Oh.
Magi, you know what? That's too long too.
Gurren Lagann.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
2 movies. But I mean, they've already done that.
Blue
They
Exorcist.
just didn't do live action. They just made it 2 movies. Blue Exorcist could work.
There's a stage play for that already. Just have that.
There's too much
Inuyasha.
stuff. Inuyasha?
And there's been
Do
one.
the final act.
Kill the Kill.
No.
No Game No Life.
No.
Okay, I
The
think
Faith series.
No, stop.
No.
God Eater.
I think
No.
we
Soul Eater.
Stop
Yes.
shouting.
The Fire Force.
No.
Doctor
Demon
Stone.
Slayer.
Doctor.
Why the hell you're here, teacher? I'm just kidding.
Basically, I feel like any anime that has just people in it would be a lot easier to do, and has probably already been.
Oh,
live
so
action.
Planet
Evangelion.
Cat Cuties.
Planet of Fat Kitties?
Oh, Cat Cuties.
I thought you said Fat Kitties.
I saw that one, by the way. I've seen that show.
Samurai Pizza Cats? Is that what you're saying?
That's an
I wish.
Evangelion.
Evangelion.
Evangelion's another one of
Did you-
those
did-
where it's like they shouldn't make a live action of it because it's not that it's perfect, but it's like
It's fine as it
they
is.
made it an animation because it wouldn't work as well in live action, I think.
All right, so Darling in the Franxx.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh,
Who cares?
Shoot, there was one.
Uh,
Oh,
Who
did
cares,
you,
Carlos?
hey, did you know there's an
Noel?
N64 Evangelion game?
yeah.
Yes.
I did not know
There's
that.
actually some lore and story in that's part of the canon too.
Really?
Yes,
That's so
because in
crazy.
Evangelion fandom there are layers of canon, and that's like in one of the layers. It's like
Layers.
layers
Onions.
because it's like
Fat
I remember it
bastard.
was like stuff that came from Hideki, and then stuff from the series, and stuff in the manga, and then stuff in the games, and then stuff that are like the actors have said or something like that. I only mentioned that because it was like a long, like 3-hour rabbit hole I was down one night.
So it's kind of like.
But anyway, we're gonna have some closing statements because I'm sure we've talked your ears off enough.
Yeah, like how.
Carlos, you go first.
It's good or bad. It's a mixed bag, depending on who
Depends
you
on
are.
your opinion and who you are and what your taste.
Yeah. Ultimately, I feel agreeing with you. It's unfair just to say if it's live action, it's bad. Like you have
Bad take.
you have to take them all as they are.
And with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
With some salt, some pepper,
Okay.
Paprika,
tentacles,
lemon. Oh God.
Sludge tentacles of death.
monkey boy.
Monkey boy.
Ketchup.
You know, I want to watch that tonight, man.
Me too. I kind of want to.
I just
What
want
was it called again?
Dragon Ball: The Magic Begins.
Dragon Ball:
It's
The
on-
Magic Begins.
I
What
thought it was
the one
Magic
you were looking-
Beans.
No.
What was the one you looked up?
Dragon Ball Z.
Son Goku fights. Son Goku wins.
Yeah.
Son Goku.
No, you gotta say what the call was. Son Goku wins. No, wait, Son Goku fights.
Son Goku fights. Son Goku wins.
Yes.
With the magic glimpse.
Okay, Shannon, what is your thoughts?
I agree with y'all. That's my thoughts.
You know what?
Wow, you follower, you sheep.
Inferno
I've
cop
kind of
live
already-
action.
I've kind of already said that. There's good
Ma-
ones. I think the criterion goes like this. How well did you follow source material? Are the characters like they're supposed to be? And if you took it in your own direction, does that direction actually make sense and move the canon?
And the direction they take with Sanji's the terrible cook.
Right.
Wasn't that the
What
one-
would they do? What would you do if they did that?
Wasn't that the one
Like,
you took
yeah,
before kids
it's
one?
that-
And then,
No.
and
Well,
then,
no, Sanji's Eminem in One Piece. You know that?
but
That's
why you
secretly
avoid the
Eminem.
question? Why you avoid the question?
I'm about to cook.
Mom spaghetti.
Mom spaghetti.
But you avoid the question.
Sanji, what are we eating?
I
Mom
said-
spaghetti.
I said, what would you say if they make Sanji just a terrible cook?
That'd be stupid.
And they make
I burned my
Usopp,
sandwich.
and they make Usopp the most toughest man.
Well, no, I was
And
feeling
so-
mad. I was like, I hope that they don't just like make him like a cool guy. I hope they like literally make him like his character. You know how he's supposed to be funny and like, hey everybody, it's me, Usopp. Ha ha. Not, hey everybody, it's me, Usopp.
Look at my skills.
Look at my nose.
I do.
Like, this guy.
I
is
do
like,
wonder if he's gonna wear a prosthetic nose.
He's going to.
I really don't care.
I don't know if he
He
will.
has to, or it's CG. It's gonna go.
Oh, God.
Oh yeah.
That's not how noses work.
Apparently, in the One Piece universe, it does.
Hey there, Luffy. It's me, Usopp, your buddy. Let's go rescue Kaya.
What about
Just
you?
turns his head
Well,
and
they go
smacks
up
someone
to
in the
the
face.
Arlong. The
Why did they
Arlong.
get that far?
And
I would guess that it's gonna be 10 episodes. My guess would be that would be the climax.
No, it'd be
Because
funny.
they-
Because they have the 5 of them, so that'd be.
How
their
they gonna-
It's not a movie.
How are they gonna do the
Serious.
fishman? Do the
Well, no, it's just
Well, don't you?
Chris-
Pirates of the
Chris
Caribbean.
Ranger?
Just think of that. Yeah.
it's Chris Rager. He's just in cosplay.
What about the octopus guy?
Same thing. It could just be Carlos.
What about the cowfish?
I would turn myself into Takoyaki right
Big
right
CG.
You're just like, boom.
Okay, Ramiro, your final thoughts?
Same as y'all's. You know, like you gotta take it with a grain of salt. And mine is like who's producing it. Look at their and see if they're credible enough to handle the source material well. Or if not, then don't watch it.
Yeah, high budget does not necessarily mean high
Good.
quality.
Yeah.
Or whoever's producing it doesn't mean they're always gonna have the freedom that they are gonna have. Because look at the Sam Raimi films of Spider-Man.
Those are beautiful. What are you talking about?
Well, they're good, but the third one he had no control. That's when Corporation came in. Is like,
beautiful. What are you talking about? Don't start.
well,
Don't start this.
No, what I'm trying to say
You
is,
got a meeting to go to in 15 minutes.
It's
Don't
the
start
weakest.
this.
It's the weakest.
out of the
Spider-Man
three.
Sam
I'm not
Raimi
saying.
film.
Am I saying it's bad? No, but what I'm saying is that movie that Sony got in and got Corporation on all
And
over.
it was beautiful.
Did you see how Sam Raimi treated Venom?
I thought it was fine. Why do we hate that? He did fine.
But it shows you he didn't care for Venom. He didn't want Venom in the original one.
You
They're
can
gonna
see the disapproving looks right now.
It was beautiful. It was Venom. What do you want? He's a parasite.
No, let me tell you.
And then,
Okay.
get on up.
Did you not know the original script that he wanted? He just wanted Sandman. That's all he
I
wanted.
know, but I'm sorry. I'd like to have this
I
climax
know,
be
but
a
what I'm
cluster of all these characters.
But what
It's fine.
it's because of that movie, we didn't have a fourth
We
one.
rip out his heart.
Yeah, the fourth movie was gonna have Vulture and Black Cat.
We could have had
That's
that,
true.
but no,
could've.
we had to have Venom instead.
Because people whined that we had Venom. What's wrong with Venom?
There ain't nothing wrong with
Because it wasn't
It's,
done
Eddie, it's not
particularly well.
I thought it was fine.
Eddie.
Well, you're very much in the
I
minority.
was very much a normie. Yes.
No, not normies.
It's
It's in
just
the
how
I was
minority.
introduced to
Look,
that,
Tanner,
though.
Tanner-
Even normies don't necessarily think that's the worst one. So
I'm telling you, is the movie bad? Am I saying the movie's bad? No.
Yes.
they're much worse.
There are worse. But what I'm trying to say is Sony got on there. They got their corporation hands on that movie, and look what
they
happened.
turned it into a masterpiece.
That's what they did with the Amazing Spider-Man 2 too.
We're gonna leave you on that.
The,
Yeah.
the
Hands gonna die
soundtrack
on
too.
that
They
hill.
brought that in. That's fine. It was perfect.
But you're not understanding what I'm getting through.
Sandman dropped his locket.
You're not understanding what I'm trying to say though. You're just like saying it's just great. There's nothing you can say to change my mind. I'm
There
not
is
saying
nothing.
I'm not saying you can say it's great, but what I'm trying to tell you is that
I know corporations that get their hands on stuff sometimes turn things into masterpieces. And that's fine. Or trash.
Okay, that's it.
Anyway,
I'm done. This
that's
is
it.
he's gonna get dropped on the table in a minute.
I don't think I have anything else to say because I've talked too much in this episode. So,
Yeah, you did.
yeah.
But thank you for carrying.
So I think that's about it for now.
I'm good.
Now I gotta.
Gonna continue to do this podcast. We're gonna try and go to more conventions.
We're trying.
We can't promise to make a lot of content, but we're gonna try and make a bit more than we have.
I miss Tanner streaming.
And that's about it. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
If whatever you're watching this
You're
on,
welcome.
if you could leave a like or
Share
comment
it.
or anything, or if you have a request, then if you're the only person who says something, you might have a good shot at us doing something
Yeah, I
about
mean,
it.
if you're the only comment, we're gonna listen.
Yeah.
Hit of us on the.
I think that's about it.
Spider-Man 3 was bad.
I'm not saying.
Okay, that's enough.
I'm not saying
It's over.
I'm not saying it's bad.
It's over.
It's okay.
It's because Sony.
I am Matt.
I'm Carlos.
I'm Tanner.
Ramiro.
I think Spider-Man 3 is bad.
Let me
Eric
tell. Okay,
Foreman's
this is before we
fucking
hit this.
Venom.
I'm gonna tell you the first Spider
That
I
is
ever saw in
horrible.
theaters was Spider-Man 3, and I loved it. Okay, but I was a kid. Okay, I
You
didn't.
grew up?
I grew up watching it.
He
Okay,
matured.
and I matured, and I realized
Like
that
fine
movie,
wine.
that the guy from that '70s show should not play as Venom.
What? So you're mad that it was just. Hey there, Peter. Oh, wow, I'm Venom. Woo! What, you like the new one, huh? Where he's like,
Yes. All right, let's end this. Goodbye. Everyone have a good night.
Yes.
Here in Roswell, New Mexico.
Thank you for listening.
Really?